Okay, so you guys see the topics, the questions up here. Number one, decorating a bed to ask me to be a girlfriend. I don't know if anybody's seen this trend on TikTok. Absolutely ridiculous. Number two, I wanted to talk about interracial dating and the fact that there is a different energy when it comes to black women versus black men, and why the reasoning behind that is. And number three, wanted to talk about expecting black women to, exhibit behavior that has never been acceptable to do in the black community. Just like I said, like expecting black women to behave very soft, very calm, very relaxed, not show any type of independence when black women have never been given the space not to be that. So I wanted to talk about these three topics. If you agree or if you disagree, either or, just send me a request and I will add you up into the box and you can tell me what you think about these three topics. You know what I mean? Yeah. So let me know. So just send me a request and let me know if y'all want to join. Yeah. So I guess I'll start here with number one. I don't have y'all seen the decorating the bed? Asking somebody to be your girlfriend. I'm just saying that if you take me somewhere to a hotel and we're not even like that, and you put up would you be my girlfriend and all this stuff on here, I just feel like that's an expectation of intercourse. What in the world? Why would you do that? What, that is gross. Don't do none of that unless I'm getting a proposal. You make asking me to be your girlfriend is nothing. That's not even a big deal. Like, anybody can get somebody to be somebody's girlfriend. I That's not anything. I just feel like it's lame. Like, I feel like it's lame and corny. The only way I could see, even though if I would say that it would be okay if you were in high school, I would still feel like if they were in high school that they shouldn't be at anybody's hotel or anything. Maybe that's an old fashioned way of thinking, but I would feel like no high schoolers should be going to hotels. No high schoolers should be doing none of that. So it's like, I don't know. I would feel like nobody should be doing that. So I just feel like if you're doing that and you're over the age of 18, what are you doing? What are you doing? And so if you guys want to talk about that, number two, I wanted to talk about interracial dating. I saw a podcast on interracial dating, and people were talking about the fact that, when it comes to the black community, there's a different type of energy when it comes to black men dating out versus black women dating out. And, I do agree that it is a different type of energy, but the different type of energy is because there's a difference. There's a difference. And let me hear this, Bonnie. I don't You can date whoever you want, sir. I sent you a request for you to get in the box. Nobody said you couldn't date whoever you wanted. But I said there's a different energy that's received for black men that date out versus black women that date out. And there's a reason for that, because it is a difference most of the time. I would say 90% of the time, the motivation is different. And that's the reason why it's perceived differently. But yeah, nobody cares who you date, Bonnie. I can't even tell what you look like. Uh I don't want to be, let me say this. I don't want to be rude. I don't want to be rude, Bonnie. Let me look at your picture again. Let me blow it up because I can't tell if you Bonnie, you seem to be maybe biracial or black from blowing up your picture. Which is it? Are you biracial or are you black, Bonnie? Let me know down in the comments. That's what I'd like to know first before we have a conversation about this. But yeah. Okay, you said black is night. All right. Well, we'll take that. You got two black parents and two black grandparents. Four black grandparents, excuse me, and two black parents. Let me know. Anyway, you can do whoever you want to, date whoever you want. Nobody said anything about that, so please don't put that on there. I don't care. I'm saying that the reason why interracial dating is looked at differently when it comes to black men versus black women. There's a reason for that. The mentality is different. And most of the time, 90% of the time, one of the sexes that chooses to date interracially is dating out because of self-hatred, and the other one is not. So that's the difference. But you can definitely date whoever you want. I definitely didn't tell you that you couldn't. I don't know you. I don't have any control over you and what you do with yourself. But there's definitely a difference for sure. Let's see here. Number 3. So whatever you guys want to talk about, just send me a request and y'all can come in the box. And number 3, I wanted to talk about expecting black women to be soft and other type of things, like when people try to attack the independent nature of black women when there's never been a space for black women to be anything else but. And also when the other sides of black women that y'all say y'all want, if black women really acted that way, you wouldn't like it, because nobody respects that in the community. Nobody respects soft black women. What people do to soft black women is eviscerate them and tear them to pieces and not respect them and get over on them. Yeah. Let's see here. Bonnie, what you're saying is not true. And I really don't want to hear your perspective unless you are man enough to get in the box. So if you can get in the box, come on and get in the box. But if not, then you gotta keep it pushing. For real. But let me see if anybody else. But like I said, people can come in and say not true, not true. But you can see the difference in the mentality of people that are raised with a black father and a white tea mother versus people that are raised with a black mother and a white tea father. Not to mention that, but there are so many other things that go into play where you can see the active dynamics in this in real time, like statistically. Like I don't know what you're saying. And the car doctor says y'all just trying to be masculine. You know what? The car doctor, you look like you need a real doctor, which is a surgeon looking like that. It's so funny that some of y'all that look the worst horrific ways, like real life trolls, y'all have so much to say about black women. I need you to work on yourself, sir, first. Because being ugly in a profile picture that you took, that you had all intents and purposes to make yourself look better, because we all try to get our angles. That's just downright depressing. I can't. You know what I mean? I can't. It's disturbing to me. But anyway, let me let everybody speak, because that just blew me. Like, I just can't even believe that people out here taking ugly selfies and then bumping their gums. Like, it's just ridiculous. Like,
Hey,
do you know we
Trigger.
can see you? All right. Let me just give everybody 2 minutes to speak, and so everybody can speak. I'll start with Sage. Go ahead, Sage.
Hey, Trigger. Sorry, I'm
Hey.
getting over. I'm getting over being sick, so I sound a little hoarse. I just want to speak to the first topic, just real quick. That y'all got to be careful with going to hotel rooms with these guys, because one, they'll get into a relationship with you quick just so they can sleep with you, and they'll do all that just to make it easier for them to sleep with you, and then break up with you a week later. And then you got to be careful. There might be cameras. So unless it's different if you are married and you've been in an established relationship for a considerable amount of time, and he does something like that for you. But if he just does something like that for you, um, I would be very careful, especially if you don't know him all that well. But if it's an established relationship like a marriage, that's one thing. But like everybody said in the comments, be careful of love bombing. Be careful of love bombing. And some men will buy you gifts, flowers, and do all that nice stuff early on just to get what they want out of you very quickly, and then switch up on you. I've had it done to me in my early years, so I have learned from my mistakes.
All right, Sage. All right, let me go down here to PG 1908.
Lady, how you doing?
Hey.
I want to just kind of gloss over all three. The first one where it's like asking them to make up a bed. I haven't seen that, but I know in our community, the Black community, there seems to be this huge push on getting women to audition for a relationship. There's this huge push on getting women to audition to have a man. And to be honest with you, she's auditioning to get what? She's not getting the emotional intellect. She's not getting the love. She's not getting loyalty. She's not getting faithfulness. But there's this huge push in our community for women to audition for just a relationship. And it's a bare minimum relationship. And the second point, um, do BMs who date interracially are judged differently? They are judged differently because their reasonings are different. When a BLK woman decides to date outside her race, she genuinely wants to be loved. She genuinely wants to have a connection. Whereas with BLK males, they always link their reasons back to why they don't like BLK women. They always link their reasons back to, well, I'm with her because BLK women don't. I'm with her because BLK women are not. And it's always some negativity towards BLK women as to why they're dating out in the first place. So that's why there's a different judgment there. And then for the last one, which is the main one that I really want to talk about, was expecting BLK women to be soft for BLK men when it's not respected. I think that's a very dangerous thing, to expect BLK women to be soft whenever they're interacting with BLK men that they're not in an exclusive relationship with, because a lot of BLK men do not have good intentions. So they're automatically wanting you to show up with your guard down. They're automatically wanting you to show up just, being nice and whatever else. And he could have a whole baby mama that he's living with. He could have a whole wife. He could have all these crazy agendas going on in his life that you don't know anything about, but yet he wants you to show up with your guard down. I think that's a very dangerous request, and it's a very dangerous game for women who play that. I personally don't. I think that if you want someone to respond to you a certain way, there has to be a certain amount of time that's allowed for this person to see you, to vet you, which is another thing. I'm sorry, I know I got 2 minutes and I'm going to land my plane. They keep saying, BLK males keep saying that they want women to vet them, but they don't like the vetting process. They don't understand that when you're being vetted, there are certain things that are just not going to be apparent up front. You're not going to get this, housewife walking around the kitchen with an apron on. You're not going to get someone who's going to do everything you want them to do. You're being vetted. So it's amazing to me how they sit back and say, well, y'all need to vet. Y'all need to vet. Okay, but when it comes time to implement the process of vetting, you guys don't really seem to understand what that looks like. And I land.
All right, PG 1908. I definitely agree with a lot that you said, because I do think that is a very big problem. Is that they don't understand the vetting process and what that means. Because if you just meet somebody, of course you're not gonna go all in and say, "Lead me, King. Whatever you want is what I'm gonna do, King. Yes, yes." Because you don't know if that man means you any harm or not. You don't even know if he cares about you. You don't know anything. I definitely I definitely agree with you. But let me stop playing. Go ahead, Miss Chrissy, baby.
Hey, Triggered.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I haven't seen you in a while. I want to speak to 2 and 3, but I'll start with 3. I would say I am a prime example of how that soft girl going into it very meek and meager and feminine is catastrophic for Black women. I was definitely groomed to be like that, very religious in my 20s and early 30s. And compared to the Black women that was a lot more stern and harsh on their boundaries, I probably had the worst of experiences as far as dealing with relationship, marriage, whatever you want to call it. I just think there's a lack of inherent disrespect with Black women, and you have to have your guard up. I have a 22-year-old daughter. I think from my lived experience, that made her a lot tougher and have she don't settle for nothing. She don't take the BS or whatever, just from what she saw from me and my demeanor. So I'll wholeheartedly agree with that. And I know other Black women that have the same experiences I had, being, quote, softer. And we got thrashed. I mean, in the workplace, in your community, you have to have boundaries. You have to be strong. If they want to call it masculine, at least you're protected. At least you're not getting drugged. You know what I mean? And then number 2, I think there's a total difference between a Black woman dating interracially and a Black man dating interracially, because even just like doing normal activities, or if, I feel like Black women are quick to be called like bed, that word with the W, like the amount of disrespect I've seen in public when I see people in interracial relationships, when it's a woman versus a man. I feel like it's more normalized when you see a Black man with a white woman, and Black women are more apt to be called a traitor or something like that. It's a lot more hostility, in my opinion. I feel like the Black men want the hostility. They want this. They want the negative attention so they can have an excuse to bash Black women, and that's my opinion.
Okay, all right, Miss Chrissy, baby. All right, I got you. I definitely agree with a lot of things that you said as well. Let me go down here to Mr. Live 305.
Yo,
Yeah.
what's up? So my take on it, as a Cuban man born
Oh,
in
wait, wait, wait,
America.
wait. Hold on. You're not a Black man?
Shit, you can say I'm black, but
Okay,
some
nope.
people
All
do.
right, bye bye. See you later. What I mean, my thing is what sometimes y'all gotta, I know y'all probably like used to like certain Black people letting y'all overstep, but I'm not one of those Black people. If you are not a Black person, you cannot give your opinion on what Black people think, what Black people say, what's going on in the Black community. None of that. I don't want to hear it. Period. Y'all gotta really get it together. I know that y'all used to people giving y'all passes to the cookouts for the bare minimum. Y'all do something that Black people can do so much better, but y'all do it on a mediocre tip. And then everybody like, oh my gosh, yes. I don't do that. I don't do that. You get no passes over here. I don't care about your thoughts. I don't care about your opinions. I don't care what you think about the Black community. Ask yourself, honestly, why you always want to be in Black people business. Ask yourself why you not on a Cuban live talking to Cuban people about Cuban business. I understand that Black people, we make everything live. We make everything cool. We have everything popping. Our culture powers the entire world and what y'all want to do. But get out of here. Skedaddle. Honestly, I don't do that. And you see this, like how this man just said, we sold you. We sold you. It's probably a white person instead, but he said we sold you. And this is the type of behavior that people have that want to still be in Black business. Like they want to come in and give their lame perspective and then turn around and say things like that, which lets you know that that's the reason why they want to be in our business anyway, to cause contention and division and bull. You know what I mean? And like I said, I don't understand why people that are not Black, when they say things like we sold you, or they say things like the N word, like you think I haven't heard that from birth? Like you think that means something? But that just really lets you know just how ignorant and arrogant people are. But I really need y'all to understand something. I don't let nobody that's not Black speak on nothing. Now, some Black women ask me why I let Black men speak, because, hey, we're all still Black at the end of the day. So sometimes I let Black men get a perspective. But if you're not Black, please move around. Please move around. But I'm about to block you, Mr. Live 305, because you're not Mr. Live. You're Mr. Lame 305. Okay? And matter of fact, you about to be Mr. Live 666, because I'm about to send you to the depths of hell in this block world where you belong. So let me go ahead and block you. Goodbye. Exit. You never to return. Bye-bye. You're blocked. Uh-huh. Like I just can't even believe it. Like, what would make you? I would never get on a live where there were like Cubans or Puerto Ricans or Hispanics. The more than likely they're going to be white Hispanics. All that. I would never get on there and be like, yeah, let me talk to y'all about what y'all got going on in y'all community. Why? Because I would know that that's not my place. But for some reason, people don't respect Black people, and anytime they attempt to gatekeep or have any boundaries. But I've said this before in other videos, like way back when I used to make pro-Black content. But the reason why people do that to Black people is because inherently Black people, societally, we're on the bottom, and people do not respect Black people at all. They don't even look at Black people as human, which is the reason why they feel like Black people are not supposed to have any boundaries. They're not supposed to be over the gatekeep. They feel like they're entitled to everything that Black people are, is because they don't respect the humanity of Black people. Now they love to use Black people, their intellectual property, what they do, what they give to society. They like to repackage it like they call AAVE Gen Z slang, which that's not what it is. You got white people saying bussin'. Oh my gosh, this food is so bussin'. You know what I'm saying? Or you got the white girls talk about woo, Chile. not knowing this woo child. You get what I'm saying? But anyway, this is probably too racially charged, and I don't even want to talk about it, but what King says, black people are too forgiving. Absolutely. They are absolutely too forgiving. And that's exactly why we will continue to be played forever and ever to the end of time because of that. But I don't even want to talk about it because that I'm going to go off the rails of what we're really talking about. But I tell you what, that really does annoy me when people do stuff like that. But all I can say is that I don't do it, and I've tried my best to instill that in my children, not to be like that, and hopefully when they grow up, they don't be like that. But other than that, I don't know what to do. I can't. So let me stop bumping my gums though. Does anybody else, any of you ladies, did y'all have anything else to say forward? I'll start with Sage and then PG 1908 and then Miss Chrissy. Again. You know what? Yeah. So wait. You know what? Nell and Chan says we're the only race with our own institutions. I don't care who hate us. I'm gonna speak up. Nell and Chan, I understand what you're saying, but do you know that I didn't even realize until my husband told me that a lot of HBCUs are like 50% non-black. So we can't have nothing. And anyway, okay, go ahead, Sage. If you had something to say, Sage.
So I wanted to agree with your point from earlier about how for some reason when we black women do I'm sorry, give me a second.
Okay. I hope you feel better too, Sage. PG 1908, did you have anything to say, sis?
Yeah, I did. I wanted to just piggyback on what was being said earlier about how um black men or BLK men, whenever they want or expect submission, they expect all the things up front. Again, I said that was the dangerous game to play. Another thing that I wanted to add to that was it's also used as a form of manipulation because these men don't really know you. They don't know if they like you. They don't know if they want you. They don't know in what capacity they want you. So to walk in the door expecting you to be docile and agreeable, and I think that's a manipulation tactic. That's just me, and I just kind of want to hear what everybody had to say on that.
I mean, I definitely agree with you. I think it's a manipulation tactic as well. That just like you said earlier, how they'll tell women to choose better and stuff like that. And then when women attempt to do so, then there's a big problem with it, which I never understood. Like if I'm opening myself up to you completely and giving you access to every bit of me and I don't even know you, that sets a woman up for the okie doke, point blank, period. But I don't think half the time that the men that say these things, they only want women to do it so that they can take advantage of them. Because the man that really cared about the best interests of women would never say that. That's exactly why if you have a dad in your life or you have brothers or uncles or whatever, they gonna tell you don't trust men right away because they actually are looking out for your best interest. So they gonna tell you, no, be reserved, make sure you vet him, you find out what's going on before you do this, that, and the third. But the ones that's gonna tell you to do otherwise are the ones that are seeking out to try to manipulate you, trying to take advantage of you, trying to screw you over. And then when you sit there hurt, they'll be the ones to tell you, well, how you should have just believed that I was. Why would you believe me in the first place? You know. But go ahead, Sage.
So what I wanted to add to what you were saying, PG, is that when it comes to them wanting us to prove ourselves to them, right? I had a guy when I was dating. He was like, I had to earn a date. And I looked at him and I was like, I've never had to do that before in my life. I've never had to earn a date. All the guys that I dated, they would out front, out straight out the gate, take me out on dates. I literally had a boyfriend where, and these were black guys, by the way, who I walked into his job with him. They were like, should I hand your check to you or your girlfriend? So they sit up here, those type of dudes, for what I have learned from patterns, is that what it is they want you to earn something that they're not willing to offer you or that they don't have. And what I learned with that guy, I just told him, okay, bye. He was upset with me, but I realized that his finances wasn't in order. His stuff was not in order. And then on top of that, if you really wanted to be with me, right? You wouldn't be trying to get me to lower my standards and do all this crazy stuff. And on top of that, it's weird because I told him, I'm like, me and my homegirls go out. I done went out with my homegirls and pay for stuff for my homegirls, and we're friends. And yet, you can't take me out on a date? I'm like, that to me, that's bare minimum. Especially if we're all working and stuff like that. And I was like in my early 20s, getting close to my mid 20s. I was just like, nah. And it's just certain stuff that just isn't acceptable, especially after a certain age. If you got teenage boys and dudes in their early 20s who take girls out on dates and do stuff, and yet you got these 30-some, 40-some, 50-some year old grown men talk about you got to earn for this and you got to work.
Here's what
I'm
I
like,
can't
who do you
understand,
think you
Sage.
are?
Here's the part that really trips me out is that you'll get hit upside the head with a brick, and y'all know what I mean by that. If
Mm-hmm.
they approach you and you don't give the number, if you say, you know what, I'm not interested in dating, if you're doing 4B, if you're not, anything that says I'm not interested or I'm just, this is just not the time, they get very upset. So here's the thing that really trips me out about BLK males. You want us to be open to your advances. You want us to be open to giving you access to us, but then I have to prove why you should have access, or I have to prove why you should be in my life. If I have to prove anything to you, why did you walk up to me? Why did you ask me for my number? Because see, you could have left me alone. You could have stayed wherever the hell you was at. You came up to me. Let the record show. You walked up to me. You asked for access to me. You're in my DM. Why do I have to prove anything to you? If you didn't know who I was or what my motion was, you could have stayed out my DMs. You could have left me alone instead of chasing me across the parking lot at Publix trying to get my number. It doesn't, the things that they do just don't match to
You
me, and
want
it's
to know what it
weird.
is? What I think it is? I think in a lot of cultures, especially in our cultures, right? On how there's so much emphasis put on how males are so important and how males are coddled. Because I've heard even in other cultures, right? Even in Chinese culture where they got rid of their girls and kept their boys, did the one child policy because they put so much emphasis on the boys. And the boys are raised with this inflated sense of ego. And this is what I think it is. I feel like in the Black community that there's so much value put on these boys and put on these males that they don't have, or that it's just not there, or it's just, I don't know what it is. And then they get into adulthood, right? They get into their 20s, they get into their 30s, and they have this, what is it, a grandiose sense or whatever it's called. And they're thinking, hey, I'm a male. I'm a Black male. I'm the prize. I'm this. Women should have to prove themselves to me. And then when they're not getting women, especially women that they don't want or may not be their ideal woman, they get upset because a lot of them were programmed with certain ideas, or maybe had certain experiences in their teens or in their 20s, or maybe they were a football player, because you know how it goes with the football players. But then when they get out to the real world and real life and real consequences start hitting, they're like, oh, wait, I don't have the value that I'm supposed to have. I need to be a man of integrity. I need to have some money, that we're not just going off of when we were young, to where girls would just want just a young guy who's a dude. As you age, you realize just having a man is not enough. If you're going to have a man, he has to have some money. He has to be respectful. He can't be abusive. And a lot of them, I realize, just being Black and a male isn't enough. And they're still programmed with this idea that being Black and a male is enough. And they don't want to come out of that delusion. And I think what it is just they're still stuck in that delusion of maybe when they were in teens and they were in their 20s.
All right, okay. I'm gonna go down here to Miss Chrissy Baby. Go ahead, Miss Chrissy Baby.
I think it's also, I agree with that wholeheartedly. There is a sense of entitlement to our bodies. Like, I'm a Black man. You're supposed to be attracted to me no matter what status, no matter how attractive I am. You should be lucky I'm coming up to you, haggling you for a number. And I also think, I understand what Malcolm X was saying about, Black women being, the least respected. But I think because people know that subconsciously, there's again, that entitlement, like you should be lucky somebody is attracted to you because you're a Black woman. Because like the way some guys even approach you and you do say no, it's like almost like they clutch their pearls that you have the nerve to say, I don't want your number and I'd rather be single. I'm good. Like I think that's where all the anger comes from when we say, I'm good being single. No, you're not. You're miserable. You're gonna live with your cats. And I just don't think they believe women would rather be by themselves than with them. You know what I mean? That's just my observation.
All right, Miss Chrissy, baby. All right, I'm gonna go down here to Waxman.
Hello, ladies. How y'all doing today? Um, I just wanted to say, for the men, I'm gonna keep it on myself. I think probably some men don't understand that. Like we're spiritually broken. A lot of things happen in our life where it's a struggle to come out of. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of things that we've been through, we haven't healed from it. I'm one of them. I'm one of them people that went through this. And like, I don't think it's looked at that way. But if you look at it as far as the spiritual breaking part, if you're spiritually broken, you can't heal, you can't feel, you don't have no understanding, you don't want to listen to nothing, you just want to do whatever you're doing and continue to spiral. And that's where I was at. I'm not going to speak for all men, but I believe a lot of men suffer from this. Um, and the thing is, a lot of men take a little longer to mature too. I'm guilty of that also. You know what I'm saying? But it's all about once you take accountability for the things that you struggle with and work on them, that's when, you start to heal and become the man that you need to be. It's not going to happen until you start with yourself first. And the way to start is not trying to jump in a relationship to relationship to relationship. It's to jump into yourself, jump into your spirit, have understanding on what you need to do first before you try and take on anybody else's responsibilities and what they are. You know what I'm saying? But that's all I wanted to say for right now.
I got a quick question for you, Wax Man, because I'm sorry, Trigger. If it's not my turn, I'll wait.
Well, I'll let you go, PG. I just wanted to say one thing to Nell and Chen in the comments. She had said that there aren't resources available for Black men like there are for Black women, and I just wanted to say, like, I disagree. There are plenty of resources available for the both of us if you choose to use it, because if we're talking about underprivileged communities, but I always hate to use that when it comes to Black people, because not all Black people grow up in underprivileged communities, not all Black people grew up in a hood or anything like that, so we don't all have that struggle. Because I didn't grow up in the hood, and so I can't say that for per se. But I'll just say this is that just like Black women can go get therapy and they can go have access to these things, there's no block on Black men from doing the same. Basically, with every insurance plan that you would get having a job, there is an option for you to get any type of therapy that you choose to use or choose to have access to. That I feel like also enables and coddles Black men to engage in bad decisions, to engage in bad behavior, to not to walk around unhealed and blame it on not having access to resources. And Black women can do it who are completely oppressed and disenfranchised, not only by society, not only for being women, but also being Black women, and also being oppressed and punched down upon by the men in our very own community. And we have access to do these things. They definitely have access and they can do it as well. They're just not choosing to do that. And when people say like there's no financial resources available for single Black men, that the reason why that is, if there were more Black men, because people always use that as a caveat for, well, there's single Black mothers are able to get access to this, that, and the third. If there were Black men that took a more proactive role in raising their children, keeping their children, doing those, they would have, or marrying the women that they're with, they would have access to those same resources. So once again, there's no difference in what's available. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to say that there are plenty of opportunities that Black men can have to heal themselves, and also free resources as well, but they just choose not to take that. And women do, and Black women do choose to take it. And that at some point that blame or that responsibility has to rest on Black men's shoulders, and not make it like they're not afforded something. Yes, and just like Miss Chrissy Baby said, there's online therapy. There's no excuse. There's plenty of places to go. But go ahead, PG 1908. Go
Yeah,
ahead, sis.
I just want to ask Wax Man because he's a BLK male. He may be able to answer this, he may not, and it's cool if you can't. But because we're talking about the things of the prompt, and every time Black women, BLK women, are into associations of some sort with BLK males, the BLK males, their number one stance, they're very fixated on, you need to be agreeable, you need to let me lead, you need to listen to me, you need to do all these things. Here's my concern with that, Waxman. If you can answer this, it'll be great. There is no track record in the BLK Male Collective of Education. There is no track record in the BLK Collective of spiritual development, going to church, going to mosque. When you look at the numbers, when you look at the percentages, the numbers of BLK men or males just don't measure up in education. They don't measure up in the spiritual sector. They don't measure up in self-care. They don't measure up in reading. My question to you as a BLK male on the panel, where are you guys getting all this information to lead someone? What exactly is it that you have to tell someone that you want them to listen to you so badly? You want them to follow you so badly. You want them to agree with you so badly when you don't have the track record of learning. You don't have the track record of gathering and developing your information and becoming better people.
I can answer that for myself, right? I can't speak for all men. All men, some men are where I'm at on the same journey, and some men are still, doing what they want to do. My thing is, I'm gonna keep it on me. I have a high school education. I never went to college. I had to start, doing things early, as far as taking care of my family, my whole family, and my kids, right? So I always tell everybody I'm spiritually, street, and educated. You dig what I'm saying? My thing is what the men is. How can you? I don't see. I don't use that. See, my actions speak louder than my words. That's where a lot of men get it mixed up at. When you show action, you don't have to tell anybody you're a leader or you need to lead me or you need to follow me. First of all, if we in a relationship, it should be like, we compromising. We both building together. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna it's not gonna work if it's not a mutual agreement on how to build. You know what I'm saying? But my thing is this, right? The reason why I'm where I'm at, the biggest thing that I ask God for is direction. Something we couldn't follow as kids, and something that we still can't follow as adults. So when I asked for that direction, that's what actually started to weather me through the storm that I went through, right? And my thing is, when I looked in the mirror and God told me to tell myself that you are the problem, right? But you are the solution. See, the whole thing is you got to choose which side you want to be a part of. We've been a problem the whole time. Myself, I've been a big problem my whole life. But now I had to, as I got older and got a better understanding of what I need to do as a man and how to be a man, it changed my life. You know what I'm saying? Because some men don't know how to be a man. Some men don't understand that it's things that we go through in life and we have to learn from them to make us a better man and to make us have better choices in life. You know what I'm saying? Because if you like, I've been through the storm, so it changed my life. It was things that I had to change about me. In order for me to change things about myself, I had to do inventory on myself. And the way I did that was isolating and being by myself. I
Uh,
couldn't, I couldn't
hey,
because
I just want to interject in and say I think we may be getting a little bit off the topic of the topic.
okay, all right, I'm gonna end it with this. I'm gonna land with this. I'm sorry. The thing is, like, men, I think because of the upbringing. the way we was brought up. It's things that we won't allow a woman to see, or we don't really want to show women because we think they're going to take advantage of us. And that's what I believe, like, that's what I've been afraid of. You know what I'm saying? By giving myself, giving my all, and then someone taking advantage of it. So
So is
sometimes
that
I
why
feel more
y'all are
comfortable.
so, like, based on her topic, is that why black men or BLK males are so obsessed with making up a bed and y'all are just in the boyfriend girlfriend stage, or expecting her to be soft and submissive and agreeable, and y'all literally just met? Y'all don't even know each other for 30 days. Why does she have to be agreeable? Agreeable to what?
Now, I mean, like, that's something that, the two couples got to take up. I'm not going, like I said, I can't speak for everybody, but like when you deal with men, they treat you different. Like if you're dealing with a man and a boy with a boy mentality, that's what you're going to get. But if you're dealing with a
Can
man
I
that
say something?
understand is the relationship is different. The whole conversation is different. How we look at each other is going to be different. It's not going to be like you talking to a man boy, basically. That's what we call some of these guys out here, man boys. So
I mean, Waxman, you can call them whatever you want. I get that. And I understand you may not be able to answer a lot of the questions that I'm asking you. But again, back to the prompt when it says you expecting black women to be soft. But it's like soft towards what? If you guys are just meeting, and even when Sage made up her point, she gave her point, she was saying that she had to prove to go on a date. Like you asking for access to these women, but then they have to prove themselves to you. If you don't see their
This was a
worth
guy
when
that
you,
chased me for years. Like
that's
this
what
was a
I'm
guy that
saying.
was
And
on
he
me
saw
for a
your
long
worth. So for
time.
him to sit up here and say you got to prove to go on a date or make up a bed, what the hell does that have to do with getting to know somebody? Are you trying to get to know this woman, or are you trying to manipulate her into doing what you want? Because that's what it sounds like. It
but
doesn't sound
then
like you want a date. It sounds like you want to manipulate. And it's the same thing with the third point. I want you to be soft. You don't even know me. Why am I being soft towards somebody I don't know? That's crazy.
but then that's the accountability that both sides got to take. The woman got to take accountability. Once he said that out of his mouth, you already know, like, come on now, like, I'm not even going to entertain
Yeah,
it.
but then when we're rejecting men right and left, then we're too picky and too masculine and going to be single forever. That's the
Well,
issue. It's the
if
double
that's what they
standard.
want to think, if that's what they want
No,
to
I
think,
mean, but
let
this
them think
conversation
it.
is talking about a collective. It's a
Oh,
collective conversation. It's not
yeah.
individual. I think a
Oh,
lot
I
of
know, I
time in these
understand.
conversations, I think that get
But I
missed.
just don't like, I'm sorry, I just don't like to speak for other people because I don't wouldn't want
Then
nobody to
you
speak
shouldn't
for
have a
me. But I
collective
understand.
All
conversation.
right, I got you. This is the internet. We're speaking for other people because we're speaking in generalities. We can't speak just about our individual experience, not only because that doesn't give you clear perspective, but also because of the fact that when we're in these spaces and we're with a whole bunch of people and a lot of the people share your same experience and your same collective and your same sentiments, then we know that it's not just us. Also, I wanted to respond to somebody in the comments real quick, and I'm gonna let the guy just add it up speak. Where is the guy at, bro? He just said something real crazy in the comments. Oh yeah, keep it real, B word. I first of all, that's just such a dumb name. Just so that you know, like respectfully change it. You sound goofy. But number two, you said that like white tea women will go on coffee dates and go hiking, and they'll basically. I never understood why white tea women do not get offended at the fact that so many black men like proudly proclaim that they are comfortable with the bare minimum and they will be satisfied with a black man offering them absolutely nothing. I would be offended by that because I'd be like, why in the world are y'all everywhere trying to make it seem like all you got to do is offer me a Tootsie Roll, and then I'm gonna be like, oh, okay, cool. All you gotta do is give me a Tootsie Roll and a mini Reese cup out of a Halloween candy pack, and then the next thing you know, here I am all over you. Like, I think it's very extremely disrespectful that y'all say that. But I also need y'all to understand something: is that when y'all say these things about white tea women, it lets me know the type of white tea women that you attract. You're talking about the ghetto, ones that want to. There's several archetypes of white women. You're either talking about the
The
white tea
Waffle House
women that
Beckies.
the Waffle House Beckies, absolutely. You're talking about the ones that want to be black, that go so hard with the blacks, and they go get the double XL nails, and then they got their baby hairs all gelled down, and they going to get feet embraced. Those type of white tea girls. You're talking about the big back Beckies, those that white tea men never liked, never wanted, so they had no choice but to settle for y'all. But if they could get a what is it? What's the white dude that plays Thor, the Hemsworth dude, or Henry Cavill, or whoever else people think is fine? Our white men, they would get them, but they only settle for black men because they know black men will accept any type of white tea woman, no matter what, as long as her skin is white. I know that y'all are not getting no Megan Foxes, no top of the line, or white tea women that actual white tea men like. So that lets me know that I already know that you're getting the bargain basement. Y'all are not getting them real good fit white tea women that be in the gym, that come from a good family, that have good education, that may be, lawyers, doctors, whatever they got going on. Y'all not getting them. Y'all not. And that those, so of course, a bottom of the barrel white tea woman is gonna settle for you taking her out for coffee or hiking. Y'all, it's just that the average black woman, even a black woman that y'all may not consider top tier, she not go. Black women as a whole have more esteem for themselves to not let you play with them. So, like, that's not a badge of honor. And I really wish that y'all would stop acting like it's a badge of honor, because when I'm out and I see y'all places, I would say, let's say I say 50 interracial couples with black men with white tea women. Out of 50, I see maybe one white tea woman that I'm like, oh yeah, she's attractive. Like, I can see that probably other men in her own community liked her. That's me being generous by saying 1 out of 50. Because the majority of the time, I never see it. I never see it. But I'm trying to be generous. I'm going to be generous and give you 1 out of 50. So y'all got to stop the games. But when you see reverse, you see a lot of times when black women when white tea men are with black women, y'all see what those women look like. You already know. So there's a total difference there, and y'all gotta stop it. And it's not a girl math; it's a girl fact. Okay. So what we're gonna do is change that from girl math to girl fact. And the only person here that's emotional is you, because you're the one that proudly proclaimed that white girls are satisfied with barely nothing. And if they're satisfied with barely nothing, and that's what you're providing them with, it's because you don't have nothing. So, I mean, you don't think that makes you a lame dude, that you want to take a girl out hiking and getting all sweaty and gross, and you trying to get to know her? How's she going to get to know you when she out there out of breath and hot? Huh? You think it's a flex to say you took a girl out to coffee and you probably made her pay to get her own coffee? Like, I don't, and you're trying to sell me on you? Because when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing, not the other way around. Ain't nobody said nothing about that. When a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing. So you want me to audition for you when your life is going to be upgraded by my presence? Be for real. Get
And
real.
Trigger, I want you to see the irony. I want you to see the irony in all the things that you posted on your prompt. How you have a collective of males who are pushing and fixated on, you need to make up a bed in order to be my girlfriend. You need to be soft and agreeable. And the only thing he's offering you is a coffee date. The only thing he's offering you is Netflix and chill. He wants you to make up a bed. He wants you to be a soft and agreeable. But what are you getting in return for that? A coffee date. What are you getting in return for that? Netflix. So he wants you to be soft and agreeable for Netflix. I want y'all to clock
Girl,
that.
it's crazy. It's
I want y'all to clock that.
crazy.
Clock
I
that.
I just, you know what? The only thing that I wonder sometimes is that, like, where is the collective of white tea women that should be very offended by this rhetoric? Like, they should be up in arms and really upset. Like he said, white tea women are humble. First of all, as I said before, like, this is why you called me emotional, and men say that to try to disarm women and to get them to be quiet when they're speaking facts. But you responding with everything that I said, and the only response you saying is white tea women are humble, that lets me know there's something wrong with you. Because what I'm saying, sir, is that the white tea women that you're attracting are quote unquote humble, and they're settling for you because they don't have any options. Y'all never have any white tea women that are about anything, that are checking for y'all at all. None of these white women come from good families. None of these white women are fit. None of these white women are attractive. None of these white women are intelligent. All these white women are doing are fetishizing you and just settling for you because they can't get them into their community that they like. Because statistically, if you didn't know, white tea people, the collective of them, still date inside intraracially the most. So I have no idea why we've had this fantasy that like all white tea women are fiending after black men. It's not true. It's a certain subset of white tea women. It's a certain archetype of white women that like black men. That's it. The average, the collective of white tea women statistically, since you want to say emotions, statistically can be proven that they are not checking for y'all. I need y'all to understand that it's you. So you're not living in reality, bro. So I mean, like I said, you could never tell me that I'm speaking emotional. These things are factual. If you don't believe me, go take your phone. You have an over $1,000 piece of machinery within your hand. Look it up. So stop the games. Nobody's checking for you. And look at what your name is. Keep it real, B. Like you think you got a quality woman checking for you? No, you don't. That's why your ashy self is in here talking nonsense right now. Go somewhere and brush your teeth. Go run around the block or something. You know what I'm saying? Go pick up your stomach and clean up under there and go wax your nuts. Like, really. But anyway, let me just keep moving forward because I'm really tired of talking to busters. And and you clearly that. But I'm probably gonna block you. But go ahead, World Mazza. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was just here to say it's not all men, all black men that want submissive or agreeable women, in my opinion. So I've been with women that agree with everything I say, or like I'm asking things like, "What do you want to eat?" She's saying whatever you want, or "What do you want to watch?" She's saying whatever you want to watch, and it gets kind of annoying because I want to know what you want to do. So I respect the outspokenness sometimes, and I think some men do as well. You know,
Okay, all right, I got you. So you're just saying that there are black men that appreciate outspoken black women, or is that what you're
100%,
saying?
a 100%.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say that's not true. I mean, I'm married to a black man. He definitely has no problem with me being outspoken. So I definitely would not. I wouldn't challenge you and say that that's not true. But I think that what we're doing today is kind of speaking on the collective or the culture that is curated for black women, and a lot of times that is that people want black women to shut up and just be acceptable or accepting of mistreatment and whatever goes on. They don't want them to say too much about it.
Trigger,
So
let me say this because I don't want these guys to come up here on your panel and waste our time being willfully obtuse. I don't want you guys to keep, and the other guy did this, whatever his name was, Waxman. No offense to you, Waxman, but you guys are going to have to develop some range on your intellect. We're not talking about your community. We're not, I mean, your collective of friends. I don't know your friends. I don't know your uncles. I don't know your cousins. You guys are on this app every day, just like we are. You see the lives, you see the videos, you see these BLK males saying that they want submissive, fit, feminine, and friendly. They want someone to do what they say. They want someone who's agreeable. They're even saying they want to date younger demographics of women so that they could be a little bit more, I guess, malleable and a little bit more controllable. So let's not pretend that just because your group doesn't say it, you and your
No,
homies or
100%.
no, don't interrupt me. Your
Sorry.
homies in the barbershop don't do this. The black collective of males, they say this. So, guys, let's develop some range today, okay? Because this is a little annoying.
all right,
Just one second, you guys, before y'all respond to PG 1908, which I will allow y'all to do. I wanted to respond to a woman in the comments. I think her name is Uchichi. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. You're saying about like black women complaining about black men dating out. I think you may have lost the context of the conversation. You might have come in on the tail end of it, but nobody's complaining. I know I'm not complaining. I know there isn't a single black woman that's up here right now that has complained about black men dating out. That was not the intent of this live. What I was saying is that black men who date interracially, I saw a panel on it where they were talking about why are black men judged differently or treated differently, or why is the energy different than when black women date out. And I was saying that there is a reason for that, because the psychology behind why both of the parties are doing it 90% of the time is polarly opposite to each other, which allows one to be more respected. But nobody was complaining about black men dating white tea women and stuff like that. So and then I think you said that the women sounded bitter on here. Nobody sounded bitter. There were just women explaining their opinions and their points of view. And I think a lot of times that, you know, not only does the world try to silence black women from speaking their opinion and their truth about things, but there are other black women that attempt to silence other black women too, in defense of the collective of black men, when it doesn't make sense to me, because the collective of black men will not do the same for you. So it's really strange to engage in that type of behavior. But if I'm wrong on what you were trying to say, let me know. But that's what it seemed like you were getting at. But nobody was complaining. I think that black women are far past the point of complaining about, you know, black men dating out or anything. I would think that in 2024, black women would realize that's just something that is gonna happen, and they just need to move accordingly. And I say this as a person that's married to a black man. I don't think that's where it's going. But yeah. So I'm gonna let Waxman and World Maza respond to PG 1908, and then you Chi. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Can respond to me what I said, and then I'll go down there to mini me. Hopefully I'm saying that right as far as her as well. Sorry if I didn't say it correctly. Or Mimi. I can't really see right now, y'all. All right, let me go down here to Waxman and then World Mazda, just in case y'all had to say something. I'll give y'all 2 minutes. No, as a matter of fact, I'll give y'all 1 minute to respond to her. And I'm gonna start the timer now. So go ahead, Waxman.
I just want to ask respectfully, like, since it's all these complaints, like, what do you think the men is doing wrong, and what is the solution? Like, what is it that y'all want us to do better of? Okay, take the how we say things out of the equation. What do y'all want? What do y'all want to see? Not the words. What y'all want to see?
I can answer that if nobody else will.
Oh, okay. Well, before I have PG 1908 respond to that, I'm gonna have World Mazda, since Jen Waxman just asked a question. I'm gonna have World Mazda respond to PG 1908 as well, and then I'll let her respond to the both of them. And then like I said, I'll go down here to you, Chi. Go ahead, World Mazda.
Yeah, no, my response to PG 1908 is, obviously I've got friends within my circle that prefer to have agreeable women, or prefer to be with agreeable women and submissive women. So I understand that the points that you're making are facts 110%. And I feel like the reason why is, from what I've gathered from them, is, I mean, they probably see it as they're out here making all this money, you know, getting respected everywhere they go, used to people doing as they say, you know, and when they get home, they expect the same from their women. So yeah, everyone's different. So no one's right, no one's wrong. But I was just saying what I like and what I prefer, if that makes sense.
Okay, I'm going to respond to both of y'all quickly because I know Uchichi has to speak. Okay, for Waxman, you were saying that, you know, what is it that black women expect to see? We expect to see a match. If you are going to have this expectation of somebody making up your bed, or somebody earning a first date, or somebody agreeing with you, we expect to see intellect. We expect to see character. We expect to see something that matches your expectation. And as it stands, we are currently not. So you can't come in with level 10 expectations of a woman and you at level 2. You can't even go to the ATM, not you, but whoever has these expectations can't even go to the ATM and pull out $100, but you expect her to make up a bed. Negative. Okay, now in regards to World Maza, I understand that you're saying your friends have these expectations and they have money and they're respected. The world respects a male's money. When he comes home, a woman respects his character. She respects his morals. She respects his integrity. She respects, does he match? Does he do what he says he's going to do? If you're expecting a woman to respect your money, then you might as well go on Instagram and take your pick. But if you want a woman who's going to love you and agree with you and be on page with you, your integrity needs to match the level of respect that you want. I land.
Okay, all right, PG 1908. All right, I'm gonna go down here to you, Chechi. Let me know if I said this correctly, because I feel like I'm butchering it, but let me know. But you can go ahead and respond to the things that I said to you, you Chechi, if you would like to. Maybe let me sit up. Okay, yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay.
So I want to clarify my points that I made. I did come in here a little late, so I didn't know the context of why you guys are talking about interracial dating. And I get the point that Black women who do date interracially are like seen, like it's kind of a different conversation when Black women do it. And so I do understand talking about it like that. I did not understand that you guys were talking about that point, because when I came in, I didn't hear any of that. I just heard, you know, people talking about Black men dating outside the race. And I'm like, personally, this is my personal opinion, I don't really care. I don't see why it's a big issue, because I think everybody can date whoever they want. I mean, obviously it shows their internalized anti-Blackness or self-hatred or whatever, but why would I care? Because that person is dating outside the race for a reason, like, and they have nothing to do with me. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't care if someone decides to date outside their race for whatever reason. But talking about it in a more positive way, which is what the host was kind of explaining, I do understand that. I'm so used to seeing these conversations on these lives, and it's usually like toxic and negative. And when I got in here, I didn't hear anything about Black women and who they're deciding to date and why it's an issue for Black women. So the comparison between like why Black women get a lot of hate when they date outside and Black men don't, I totally understand that. So yeah, I did make a mistake coming in here thinking that this was kind of a different conversation. So I will admit that. But yeah, I'm not the kind of person who, because I don't want you guys to think I'm like a bitch or whatever,
Uchichi,
because I don't
are
even
you
date
from the
Black
United
men.
States, Uchichi?
Yes, I was born here. I don't know why that is relevant.
Well, I'm
Because
asking
you have a
because
Nigerian flag
historically
in your bio.
right,
I
and
can be Nigerian
and
and
as
be
Black
American
Americans,
too,
whenever
right?
Black women do not care who Black men date. The
They
reason why
don't.
we bring it up, and we've said this 1,000 times, and if you're from America, you would know that we don't care who they date. The problem is they can't seem to keep our names out of their mouths when they decide to date
Exactly.
outside their race, and that is the issue. We've made that very clear, and you being from the United States, you should have the context and the history on that.
Well,
Like I said,
Chica,
All
I
right,
is
just
both
got
all
in
right.
here,
are both your
so
parents Black Americans?
no. I
They're
just got in
Okay,
here,
Nigerian.
so
that's
I just heard
probably
what was going on,
why.
and I didn't hear the entire conversation. So when the
No, what
host
I'm trying.
explained that, I was like, okay, that makes sense to me, and that's a reason to be talking about it. So
Okay,
yes, I
so
agree
all
with
I,
you guys on that point.
All right, you
yeah,
guys.
but I just
I'm gonna let Minnie me. Oh shoot, I think it's
The
Mimi.
girl, it's okay. Mimi. It's
Yeah,
fine.
I'm sorry about that. Go ahead. I'm so sorry, Mimi, because they're small and I'm looking. I'm doing something. But go ahead, Mimi. I'm sorry, sis.
It's okay. I agree with the host and PG. I feel like this conversation is very. Sometimes people put Black people all in one box, like Black Americans, Africans. Every culture has its own like different issues. From growing up in Detroit, I feel like I do see it a lot where like when Black men do date outside their race, they make it a point to like insult or undermine or disrespect Black women. And I'm not like talking about even celebrities, I'm talking about people I see in real life and like on social media, which is why I feel like Black women get irritated, because there's always this like BS of like the reason why I date outside my race because Black women is like, why can't you just date and be quiet? Because I see a lot of like Middle Eastern men here date like, you know, white women or whatever, and I never see them dogging out their own people. I see, you know, Asian men sometimes date Latino women. I don't see them dogging out their own women. It seems to be like only like mostly Black American and some like Caribbean men who seem to always like insult their own women. It's kind of annoying.
Okay. All right. I definitely get what you're saying, Mimi. All right. Let me go down here. To Cam. You there, Cam? Let me see if I can unmute your mic. See if that's it. Da, 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 da. Cam, you there? Okay, well, I invited her to turn her microphone. She might be away from her phone or something like that. But yeah, go ahead, Cam.
Hold on one sec. Let me. Dang it. Okay. Yeah. Y'all can hear me loud and clear, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, cool. So, I need to, honestly, I want to address this girl on top, above me, because she was talking mad trash in the comments, and then I'll get to this. Now, you said I was a coward, correct? Why'd you call me a coward, if you don't mind me asking?
Okay, because you commented, oh, I want to come up on the panel, but I don't want to get Uchechi all fired up or whatever. You said something like that, like, oh, she's going to get charged up. So I said, come on the panel. Why do you feel like you can't? Like, I don't care what you have to say. I'm not going to, it doesn't really matter that much to me. Like, come on the, why are you afraid to come on the panel? Like, if I get
Okay, but if it doesn't matter much to you,
even if I
apparently
decide
you
to
have a lot to say.
it doesn't matter that much to me.
But no, you came in here on some, oh, Lord Jesus. You came in here on some stupid crap, trying to call us bitter because Black women are expressing how they feel. That's giving mammy behavior, in my opinion. So, and you're not getting picked. So I'm trying to figure out, like, it's like misogynistic, you know. Just saying.
I mean, yeah, go ahead. Did you want to respond to that? You, Chi?
Oh, no, it's cool.
Okay, I mean, I will
Of
just
course,
say
he has
this.
nothing to say.
I
Can
would
I
just say this,
respond to
like,
No, I
PG?
don't.
I just say this, like, moving forward in the future, I do think that when Black women are expressing their opinions and the word bitter is tossed around, I do believe that that is a form of silencing Black women, a form of trying to get Black women to be quiet, and I do think that those are oftentimes tools used in the arsenal of a mammy, or also used in the arsenal of a Black man that does not care about what Black women think or feel and is just trying to minimize them. But it doesn't necessarily even have to be a Black man either. It could just be men in general or people in general. I think that's what people do to Black women oftentimes to get them to be quiet. They throw around the aggressive word, they throw around angry, they throw around bitter, they throw around those type of things, masculine, and all of those things are terms to meant to silence
Triggered, are you
Black
there? I
women.
can't hear you.
Oh, snap. Yes. Can y'all hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. I just want to make sure. Yeah. So I think that
I
all
can
of
hear
those
you.
things are terms that are used, rooted in trying to silence Black women. So just moving forward, those are probably not terms that you would want to use, just because there are so many Black women used to being silenced that those things are automatically going to raise their I don't know what type of word I'm trying to use right now. My mind is drawing a blank, but just gonna make them upset, basically.
It's a trigger,
Just
and
say blood
honestly,
pressure.
anyone who grew up in the States would know that.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Trigger, can
it's
I
not
say
my
something important?
responsibility
Can
to
I
make
can
sure
I
you're
can I
not
say something
triggered.
important?
If you get triggered by what I'm saying, I'm
So
sorry
so
about that.
Ichichi,
But
can
like,
We can
let me
insult you then, right? And you're
can
not
I
going to get
please say
triggered.
and you
something
got
as a moderator, please?
Okay.
So what
Sage,
I
I'll
wanted
give
to
you a
say
minute. I'll
is
give you a minute,
that
Sage.
me being a Black woman,
Could you hear me, Sage? I said I'll give you
okay,
a
me
minute. I'll
being
be
a
back.
Black woman who was raised by, yeah, I can hear you. Me being a Black woman who is a descendant of slaves on both sides of my family, who has that generational trauma and that stuff that has been passed down. Uchichi, when I hear you speak, that's why I asked you if you had two Black American parents, because I could tell that you didn't have two Black American parents and that your experiences were not as similar as us who have generationally been here, because then you would understand better our plight. And yes, there are some Black women who are pick me's and male identified, who are on the other spectrum of it, but they still a lot of times don't take the stances that you take. And I'm going to tell you right now that the stances that you take, that we Black Americans have learned, that siding with the YT supremacist mindset and the talking points, because your parents and you haven't been here that long, but I promise you, if you keep with those talking points and thinking that way, you're gonna find out the hard way. Because us Black people who have been here generationally, we found out the hard way. And I think you're just going to have to find out the hard way, especially with your talking points, because your talking points lack a lot of context and a
And
lot of life
empathy.
experience.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. Let me just go. What, Mimi? You're unmuted. Did you have something to say? Okay.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, all right. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna recycle back, and I'm gonna go back down since Sage just spoke. I'm gonna go to PG 1908, and then I'm gonna go move my way all the way back down so that everybody can get a chance to speak again. PG 1908. Did you have something to say?
Yeah, in regards to, I think Uchichi, and I'm gonna leave her alone because she says she's from America and whatever else. In regards to the context, the historical context as Black people, to be honest, I'm just gonna say this because I've never really said it. I'm not having a diaspora war with people, a first, second generational. If you don't understand the history of Black people and why we move the way we move, then, whatever. I'm not going to keep going back and forth with them on that. I truly feel like she came up here with an agenda. She said she didn't hear the entire conversation, but she came up here with an agenda. Oh, Black women are just mad because Black men date outside their race. Let them date who they want. Sweetheart, the vast majority of BLK males in this country are not worth dating. So I could care less who they date. Half of them need to go date somebody else so they can leave me the hell alone when I'm at the gas station. I could care less about who they date. Doesn't mean anything to me. We've tried to make that point clear. They said they were going to take passports and get the hell on. We still waiting for them to do that. So please, don't ever fix your mouth to tell Black women that we're bitter about who Black men date, because the vast majority of Black males are not even dateable. Thank you and goodbye.
Hey, all right, let me move down here to Miss Chrissy. Go ahead, Miss Chrissy.
I think everyone kind of spoke to what I was going to say. I just think it's not. I never understood why people come in here to this country and downplay our experiences, because, like I said in the comments, in the next few years, you guys are going to be reminded that the proximity to whiteness is not going to matter. You will be reminded that you're not white. So that's all I got to say. I'm just going to sip my tea and watch, because you'll find out what we're saying, and you'll be on these panels talking about white supremacy.
Okay, so I'm gonna move forward to give you a minute to Waxman.
I just wanted to say, like, to PG response earlier, like you talked about all these accolades that you want this man to have, right? So why is it when the men, when you probably see them men, you overlook them men? I'm not saying you, but women do see men like this, and they overlook them and go for the man that they keep saying need to do this and need to do that. I done seen it. I done been around it.
They overlook men. First of all, if a man has the qualities that a woman wants, she's not going to overlook it. From you're on the outside looking in, Wax Man. So if a man is being overlooked, there's something that I promise you didn't see. He may have a Mercedes, but he probably didn't have personality. He may have a six-figure salary, but he probably didn't have character. So you don't date men. We do. So a lot of dudes are like, oh, y'all always overlook these men, but there's something in that you didn't see. Just because somebody drives a Mercedes does not mean that you're going to spend the next 40 years of your life with him. Just because a man makes six figures does not mean that you want to give him children. Just because a man holds a Bible in his hand does not mean that he's husband material. Always keep that in mind, okay?
You got it. You right. I don't have nothing else to say. Thank you.
All right, I'm gonna go down here to Carmel Mermaid. Give you 2 minutes, sis.
Okay, well, Weissman said pretty much, I'm gonna say this. To understand how a woman will date and look for the qualities of the man, I'm sorry to say this, but there's a song by a country singer named Shania Twain that is called "That Don't Impress Me Much." She said these men had all these qualities, was fine, was smart, had a car, blah blah blah. Long story short, she was like, "You're not my type." Still, by the end of the day, good. Thank you. Please come again. Goodbye. However, I'm gonna say this. I do not know. I've never understood why Black men in general, as a collective, want us to jump over hoops for them. That does not work, because here's the thing. Y'all court us. Y'all approach us. Y'all the one who stops us at the gas stations or wherever we doing, minding our Black woman business. We ain't even thinking about a man. We ain't even thinking about y'all. We're actually thinking like, dang, I need to go home before I talk a binge watch Bridgerton, because the new series is about to come on. The new season is about to come on. We're not thinking about y'all. Y'all approaching us. So by the end of the day, the ones who need to be jumping over hoops to prove your love is y'all, because we didn't approach y'all. We're not even thinking about y'all. We thinking about anything but y'all. I have 20 things that I need to do right now on this snowing Saturday. And guess what? Men is not on the list. So yeah, y'all need to stop having that mindset that we gotta do everything to prove ourselves to you. Like what my good sis said, he who finds a wife finds a good thing. There are so many verses in the Bible that tells you men how to act like husbands. There is a verse in the book of Numbers, in the book of Numbers, that tells you how to be a man. There is one that says that the man is supposed to love his wife as Christ loves the church. That's in the Bible. So y'all need to stop all this and stop it. Stop it right now, expeditiously, immediately, immediately. That's all I got to say about that.
All right. Okay. So I'm gonna go down here to Uchechi so that she can respond to the things that was said to her. Go ahead. I let me see. I hopefully I don't yeah. Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna apologize again because like I said in the beginning, I was wrong to say that this was one of those bitter or toxic lives, right? Those are the words I use. I just want to clarify. I never said anybody was aggressive or masculine. What I used was bitter, and the reason why I used the word bitter was because I heard a lot of Black women in the past on these lives talking about, you know, Black men and who they're dating and why it's an issue for them to date, but it's not like centered around the aspect of what Black women go through concerning interracial dating as well. And I've never seen that live. So, like, for the host, I appreciate you putting that out here because I have not seen this being talked about in this way on TikTok, at least. So I do appreciate that. But yeah, I do appreciate you guys telling me what you think. You know, I apologize, and I will not use those terminologies again because my what's the word? My intention was not to silence Black women speaking on their experience dating interracially and how they get pushback versus how Black men get pushback. Like because my point in general was like, I think everybody should be able to date interracially. Like that's my thing. Because I don't think we should go back to the time where interracial dating is like illegal, or like where people were looked down upon and people were kind of like not allowed to date interracially. So that's my point. I don't think that Black women should be silenced. You guys can say whatever you want. You guys don't have to like me. You guys can say whatever you want. Like, my point was not to offend anybody, so I apologized again. But yeah, hopefully you guys.
Chachi, I think the problem is you don't look at things in context. Like you said that people have these conversations are bitter women. They're only irritated, particularly Black American women, because they're always being dragged for filth while someone else of their own community is dating someone else. Like that's why people are upset. You don't see this in other communities. You don't see, like I gave you examples, and that's why some Black women feel need to vent their frustrations to other Black women about their own viewpoints and feelings about something that they're going through. It's their own unique experience, and you cannot make a blanket statement and say like people should do whatever they want. Yes, so people have different experiences. People have different what is it called? Experiences, perspectives, different lives based on their race, based on their ethnicity, based on their shared experience. You can't like make blanket statements. Everyone's gonna date whoever they want, but I think with Black American women is that they're always told they're not good enough, that the men are dating outside their culture because other women are better, and this is not something that's new. Like I actually saw a what is it called? It was like a magazine, I think it's like Vibe or something, an old like Black American magazine, and it was like an article, and it was talking about how like during the Korean War, how Black men were saying, oh, Korean women are better than Black women. This was back in the 1940s or 50s, and there's a whole article. You guys can Google it if you don't believe me. And I think that's why Black women get irritated, because they're always being put down, even not by the greater society, even other Africans, and then by their own men as well. And no other person has this kind of experience. So you can't even speak of from a Nigerian American what is it called, perspective, and act as if you understand because you don't have that shared experience or life.
Okay, so I agree we don't have the same shared experience, but this is just something I feel a lot of Americans say. You guys don't know what it's like to be Nigerian too. Like, it goes both ways. Like, you don't know my experience as a Nigerian American. Like, you don't know my experience as a Black woman. Like, you don't know my experience as a Black man. Like, you don't know my experience as a Black man. Like, you don't know my experience as a Black woman. Like, you don't know my experience as a Black man. Like, you don't know my experience as a Black woman. Like, you don't know my experience as a Black man. Like, you don't know my experience as a Black woman. Like, you don't know my experience as a Black man. Like, you don't know my experience as a Black woman. Like, you don't know my experience as a Black man. Like, you don't know my experience as a Black woman. Like, you don't know my experience as a Black woman. Like, you don't know my experience as a Black woman. Like, you don't know my experience as a Black woman. Like, you don't know my experience as a Black woman. Like, you don't know my experience as a Black woman. Like, you don't know my experience as a Black woman. Like, you don't know my experience as a Black woman. Like, you don't You don't know what I've experienced either.
But you know
And
what?
that's
The
even a
difference,
more
But
rare
we
Uchechi.
don't speak on
Let
experience
me,
that you guys have
Nigerians.
no
yeah,
clue about. Yeah, that's
Uchechi.
fine.
We don't speak
That's
on
fine.
Yeah,
Nigerians.
just 1 second, Uchechi. I just want to respond just to that little point that you said, but PG 19 just touched on it. I think the difference is that we don't, just like she said, we don't speak on your experience. We don't go in any places where there are Nigerian people speaking about things that go on in Nigeria and their experiences, and we come in there and try to say something about it. We don't.
Well,
We
I
never
live
do
in
that. And
America.
that's the difference. And I
And
think
when you
that
guys say black, I don't think it means black American. I'm sorry, I forget sometimes that when people say black, they only mean America. Like, because to me, black is not just American. There's black people all over the
I
world.
mean, I
So when
think
people
I
talk about black people, I think they're talking about black people everywhere,
well, see,
but not
I
just
think.
Americans.
Let me just say this: is that I acknowledge that Nigerian people, Sierra Leonean people, Ghanaian people, we all are per se, for lack of a better word, black people. But there is a difference between being Nigerian American, or not Nigerian American, but being Nigerian, or being Jamaican, or being Haitian, or being a Ghanaian, or being Kenyan. There are different experiences that go in with all of these different nationalities. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes when you come in and give in a perspective on why Black American women feel a certain type of way, you may not have the tools to totally decipher it or understand it, because there are certain things in play here that there may not be in play there, or it may be in play in a different way. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely don't think that, like, if we were having a discussion about the experience of being Black or experiencing racism or whatever, me personally, I wouldn't tell you that you wouldn't be able to understand how it feels to be discriminated against, because you would. But still, there may be certain type of nuances that you may not understand on the way things happen for us here, because we are here, we were brought here, and we are here still in an environment that is somewhere where we were technically not supposed to be, and we've had to fight to get any type of semblance of things for ourselves here, as opposed to being in a country to where the majority is you. So those experiences, you may not, they may be just different struggles or things that we face. You know what I'm saying? But so I do think that some people get some type of touchy, but I can't, we're all here on this panel of different Black people with different experiences that feel different type of ways. I say I understand what you were saying, as far as I respect your apology or whatnot. But I did see your responses, that you were responding to the guy Kong in the comments. So I do think it's a little bit of throwing rocks and hiding your hands here, which is why I think you're getting to steal the continued energy from, like, Mimi and PG 1908 because of that. Like I said, I do understand, because I try my best to be balanced. It's not like I don't look at Nigerian people or Ghanaian people, or whoever, as if you're a Black. I know that you're Black, but there still is a difference there. And there still is, a way that you need to tiptoe in spaces that are not necessarily filled with people from your own nationality or demographic. You know what I'm saying? It's just like I said, if there were Nigerian people speaking about the dynamics on what goes on in Nigeria, and I came on and they're like, "Are you Nigerian?" I'm like, "No, I'm Black American, but this, that, and the third." People not gonna really, they're gonna be looking at me like, "Yeah, you
Can I say
overstepping."
something? Can I say something?
Yeah. After that, Sage, I'll give you 60 seconds, and then I'll go down here
Can I
to
also
John
say
Fountain.
something really quick?
I don't have
Oh,
much to
yeah.
say
Well,
except
well, I'll let
oh,
Sage
go
speak,
ahead.
and then Uchichi, because Uchichi was being responded to, and I'm sure that she would like to say something. I'll give you 60 seconds, Sage.
Okay, the only reason why, and again, PG, I remember what you said about the diaspora wars, and I'm not big on diaspora wars, but I can only speak to what my personal experiences are. And my problem is that for what I have heard and what I have witnessed, especially when it comes to like African immigrants that come here, is that a lot of times a lot of them are not aware of the dynamics here in the country, or if they are, for some reason they lean or push their kids more in the white direction. And this is only what I'm referring to of what I have seen and I have experienced. And I just didn't know what direction Uchichi was coming from, if her parents had pushed her more in the direction of the YT people. But like I said earlier, us Black Americans, We are very familiar with how YT Americans can be. They seem nice and friendly and they present well, but a lot of times they set you up for the okey doke. A lot of times they'll be friendly to your face and apologize and this, that, and third. But what it really is they're setting you up for the okey doke. And I grew up pro-Black with a very pro-Black father who understood Middle Passage and our history and everything. And he taught all of that to me at a very young age. Yeah, same thing with my mother. And I also am a descendant of slaves, that I do know my lineage up until the family members who were slaves, the first freed ones. So it's something that I take very, very personally and I take very, very seriously.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna go down here to Uchichi so that she can get a chance to rebut, and then I'm gonna go to John Fountain. Go ahead, Uchichi.
Okay, so like I said, when I came in this live, I didn't see Black American in the topic. So I didn't know this was only a Black American space. Like, I don't know how I'm supposed to know that. Like, maybe you guys should start saying we're only talking about Black American people and only Black American people can speak. And then it'll be easier to understand that. But when I see Black people, I'm not thinking it's just Americans that can share their opinion, or we're only talking about American perspectives, right? That's my thing. I didn't know this was American space. Like, you guys are saying we don't go to Nigerian spaces. I didn't know it was an American space. I just saw we're talking about Black people, and that's it. But secondly, people are saying like, oh, she's backtracking, whatever. I'm agreeing with you guys. I'm saying, yes, I was wrong. I apologized. I don't know if you want me to continue with the rhetoric that you guys don't like. Like, I don't understand why I can't say, okay, yeah, you guys are right. I was wrong, and I won't say that again. And then you guys are still saying you're backtracking. Like, I'm agreeing with you guys. The alternative is to continue with my rhetoric that you guys don't like. So I don't understand. I'm agreeing that I was wrong. I said I was wrong like 10 times. You guys have given me your lashes. You guys have said, oh, we hate Africans or whatever. You guys have said all these
I don't think
things.
anyone said that they hate Africans, Uchichi. I wouldn't be for that. I don't
No,
hate African people.
not you, host. I'm just saying in the comments.
Okay, I
Like,
just wanted to keep that. I don't hate
has been
African
that.
people at all.
No, I don't think so for you, host. I'm saying the sentiment in general has been that you guys don't like Africans and we can't speak in your spaces and stuff. I agree. I had no clue that this was an American space and this was just speaking about Americans. Can
I say something? So, just before
when you
you
guys
guys
use the word Black, I don't know that just means American. Like, I'm just being general. I'm being honest. Like, because to me, Black doesn't just mean American. So I don't want to disrespect anybody. I apologize. Hopefully, you guys understand where I'm coming from. Like, it was a mistake to use those terms. My rhetoric was bad. I shouldn't have said those things. I totally agree with you guys. Like, when I heard everything that you guys had to say, I was like, okay, I agree. I was wrong to say that.
Okay, Uchichi, I don't think that you have to.
Again.
I don't think that you have to apologize again. You don't need to do that. Like
No,
I don't know if everybody
again
else.
because I mean it. That's
I will
all.
give you the benefit
genuinely
of the
mean it.
doubt.
I
I
didn't
can't.
mean to offend anybody here. Like,
Yeah, no.
when
I got
saw
you.
this page,
I got you.
I had no clue that we were talking about interracial dating pertaining to Black women as well. I thought we were just bashing on Black men. And I've seen those lives so many times. And so I just said, oh my gosh, it's one of those lives again. And I didn't listen to everybody. That was my fault. I just got in here and started saying, oh my God, again, this type of live. But I agree that I was wrong. I admit that I was wrong. And I hope you guys understand that I'm not trying to silence you guys. Like, I don't want my perspective to be the only perspective. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. That's why I came on the live to apologize. I didn't want to go back and forth.
Let me ask you a question. I think now when you said that you heard the live and you thought that it was bashing Black men, I think now I understand the perspective that you were coming from. First, let me say this. I can't speak for nobody else on the panel. You know what I'm saying? I don't know you. This is the first time I've ever seen you on the panel. So you say that you apologize. I will accept that. Me, I can't make everybody else accept it, but I will accept that. I do want to say that, number one. Number two, I don't hate African people at all. I want to make that clear. I can't speak for nobody else. I speak for myself. I do not hate African people. I still look at an African Black woman as a sister as well. I want to say that, number three. Number four, I think though, however, I think that what you said was key when you said that you thought that this was a bashing, we were bashing black men. I think that that's probably what caused the energy that you wanted to defend or protect black men, which, a lot of people have a problem with that. But
I
I
know.
I I think that that is probably
Didn't
what
mean
your
to.
intentions were. And sometimes we may do things that we're not even aware that we're doing, where we feel like we need to stand up and defend and protect black men. Now, I, for one, always find it to be very strange when black women do that. And it's not, now I'm not saying if you have a dad, you got a brother, you got a cousin, you got a nephew, you got a man, you got a boyfriend, you got a fiance, you got a husband, and he's your man, or you know that you know his character, you know he's good, and so you defend him directly, maybe in a situation in your real life. But I never understood defending the collective of black men, seeing as though when there is defense needed for the collective of black women, there's nobody around except for other black women making noise and complaining and speaking out and verbalizing what's going on and how it's not right. That is weird to me, but I can't stop anybody from doing that because maybe people's lives with their interactions with black men in their real life are positive. I remember I had seen this TikTok from this girl, and she said, "You know what? You'll never get me to not defend black men because my uncles, my dad, my man is good." Da, 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 da. Which I can't take away from her experience. That could very well be her experience, you know. But I do still feel a little about going at black women who live these same experiences that you do, whether they would be bitter or not, or whether they would be bashing black men or not. Them just giving their experiences to go against them on the defense of the collective of black men, when there are lies where black men are tearing black women to pieces here on these TikTok streets.
I
I
know.
very
I don't
rarely
like
see
those
black
lies
men come in
either. I
and
know
say, "Hey,
that.
stop talking about our sisters like that. Our sisters are
Yeah.
amazing and beautiful and awesome." I'm not saying I don't ever see black men do that, but I would say I very rarely see it,
I
if you
rarely
get what I'm
see it
saying.
too, but I guess that's why I'm saying again, I'll get off here because I don't want to take up space. But I want to say that I was wrong to do that because this is not one of those spaces. And my point was like, I guess it's not like you're right. It's not my space to say whether or not you guys can talk about whatever you want to talk about. And it's not one of those spaces. But it just seems so toxic to me when I see black people going back and forth with each other, like on both ends. When black men do it, when black women do it. And to me, it's the same thing as diaspora, where it's like gender wars. Like black people always get online and do that. And I guess I don't like the toxicity of it, and I wish we could come together. And that's kind of my mindset. Is like I don't want us to always be toxic on the internet, yelling at each other, going back and forth. Gender wars, diaspora wars, like it gets tiring. Like I don't know how else to explain it. But I'm glad that this is not one of those spaces.
I mean, I
Yeah,
get what
why
you're
did you
saying.
deflect to that?
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. I do feel like we've got to understand that other demographics have these type of conversations. It's just that being a black person, more than likely you're not plugged into it because frankly, I will just say this publicly, other races of people may not be as passionate, as interesting, as entertaining as us. So it may not come on your radar. But there are discussions and even diaspora wars within. I said this before on the live. This was years ago, before I was really as plugged into the way the world is as far as racial dynamics. I saw there was a thread on Facebook, and it was like Hispanics, like Cubans, Puerto Ricans, Mexicans. They was going in on each other, and they were saying horribly racist things to each other. And I was flabbergasted. I was like, wow, like people have told me that only black people behave this way. You know what I'm saying? And I realized that wasn't the case. And so that took me down a rabbit hole of finding out the racial dynamics in other cultures, like, Asians, where you got Japanese, you got Chinese, and I was like, wow, like there are issues going on within all of these different demographics that are interconnected. So it's not just a black people thing. It's just that we're normally plugged in these things because we are black. But I'll just say this is that even with all of that going on, these conversations still need to be had, even though it may get toxic, even though it may get ugly, even though things may be said, they still need to be talked about. They still need to be exposed, because at the end of the day, I still hold out a little bit of hope for the black community. And if we were ever to get any type of change or fix anything, we would never be able to do it if we don't speak on it and say that we're just scared because other people, we don't want to be looked at this type of way because other people do it. It's the same way when black people say, oh, I only see black people putting each other down. They only see black people tearing up our black celebrities. That's a lie. If you go to TMZ or you go to Perez Hilton or any of these white spaces, they do nothing but tear down their white celebrities. So I think a lot of times we have to know that black people are not, nothing new is under the sun, nothing. And black people are not doing anything out of the ordinary that other races of people are not doing. Now, are black people extra and we put more passion and more umph into stuff? Yes, but that's the reason why everybody copies everything that we do right now. But at the end of the day, there's no difference in all of these debates and discussions. Like people talk about, oh, black people only have the red pill and 50-50 discussion. Lies, more lies. If you look up red pill on YouTube, you'll see 1 million white men, 1 million Asian men talking about these same type of things and same type of demographics.
And not
So I
to
just
interrupt the
wanted to say that.
host,
Go
but
ahead, Mimi. And John
yeah,
Fountain, you already overstepping John Fountain because I know you didn't tell me to land my plane on my live with your greasy man. I already know you about to be a problem, but I'm still gonna let you speak. All right. But watch yourself. Go ahead, Mimi. I'm gonna give you a minute, sis, and then I'm gonna go here to John Fountain because I already know it's about to be a problem. But go
yeah,
ahead.
not to interrupt, but like even when you said the red pill, the two biggest red pill people are not even African American. One of them is a Arab and Black Sudanese man by name of Myron. The other one is from the Caribbean. I believe he's from Barbados. So even in the red pill spaces, and the biggest one, energy, is white. Sneeko is white, and like something else. They're all most of them are not even African American.
Yes, a red
People
pill
make
was
it seem like
yeah. I was just gonna say
it's,
red
oh,
pill was
Black
started.
Americans are having these, right, that Black Americans are having these conversations, and oh, it's negative. Every group of people have conversations like this. Like there was literally a viral video of like a Vietnamese woman in an airport in China saying how rude and awful Chinese people are. She's freaking Vietnamese. So I really don't like how people who are African, other groups tend to shit on like Black women and Black Americans. Like have more empathy, especially in this country, than to bash people from a different culture. Like that doesn't make any sense.
All right, okay, Mimi. All right, and I got what you're saying, and I definitely agree. I do, and we all know that red pill. If we didn't know, red pill was started by white females. So that whole a lot of these agreements that we're even having are rooted in white supremacy and their ideology of what women should or shouldn't be. But okay, let me go over here to John Fountain. What you had to say?
Ma'am, honestly, I had to say that I respect everybody's point of view. And, one thing as a black man we need to stop doing is pointing fingers and just accept accountability and just love everybody across the board. I mean, from our white tea women to our BOK women, we need to just accept accountability from where we come from and the damage that we've done and humble ourselves to at least take a moment to listen to panels like this.
Okay, you know what, John Fountain, I'm gonna tell you what. I know you did not make me wait. You know what, and I was gonna be respectful with it, but I'm not now. I know you did not make me wait all that time. I know you did not tell me to land my plane so that you could come up here and say something so underwhelming. Like I know you didn't. First of all, you sound like you need to lotion
Oh,
up your
fake
voice.
ass. I
Lotion
have a
up your
dream
voice.
speech.
First of all, you need to lotion up your face, lotion up your voice, and talking about we need to take accountability for our white women. Our what? Like, what do you? If you don't move around, this is what I'm saying. I be giving y'all a chance. I be giving y'all a chance to say something, and this is what y'all respond with, and then y'all wonder why it's so many. I swear,
Oh,
it's so
March
many
on
black women.
Washington nonsense. He sounds stupid. Get the hell out of here, wasting our time. Oh, fake. I have a dream from Timu. Bye.
Yeah.
he was
Let's see.
literally in the
Let's
chat
finish
room
it.
talking hell a lot of stuff, and now
Yeah.
he's all about we all need to get together. We all need to love on each other. But in the chat room, when I made my point, he was talking about, well, who need to jump over hoops over who and all this and that. Now he's in the comments. We need to love on each
He
other.
sure was. He
We
sure was.
love everybody. We need to take, some accountability. But that little CON train, I just heard it chewing the whole time he was talking.
Oh, who you
The
talking about? Because
whole time.
he was getting really smart in them comments. That's what blew my mind. So I was like, okay, I was expecting something, not that, because he was talking cash money stuff in the comments. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now. And then the fact that he would just say like just ridiculous. Like, honestly, it's like sometimes some of y'all, like, I know for a fact that y'all are right now in y'all grandma's basement on an air mattress watching a box TV. I know that you are, because there's no way in the world, with the intelligence that you have, which is non-existent, that you're able to get any type of success in life. I refuse to believe it. I refuse to believe that you're able to do anything and support yourself on your own. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. And I really feel like a lot of y'all have been left behind. Bush said, what was it? Was it Bush said no child left
It
behind?
was
I believe
Bush.
a lot of y'all were
It
left
was Bush.
behind. Yeah, a lot of y'all was left behind, and it's sad. It really is. It's really sad and disturbing. Like I said, but the fact that you made me wait, and you told me to land my plane, and I hurried up and completed my thought, only for you to say that, you got me salty. You owe me $5. Cash App me, $ protect BW. Cash App me right now, $5. That's the least you could do, sir. That's the least you could do on this Saturday, that you played me like that. Let me
He's
go over here to
trolling.
the. he gotta be. But the thing about it is, Mimi, I don't believe it, because a lot of times they always sound the same. They sound like they 2 steps away from like a cognitive delay. And I already know that's probably not what it is. He's probably dead serious. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, John Fountain, you better cash at me right now. $ protect BW. I want the money right now. Go ahead. I'm gonna go to the top to the bottom so you guys can all speak again. I'll give you guys all 2 minutes. And I'll start the timer now. Go ahead, Sage.
I don't know. A lot has happened on this panel. And I'll just skip over me because I don't have anything to say at the moment. It was a lot.
Okay.
I got something to say. I got something to say because I'm not through with John. What kind of mess was that? This Underground Railroad delivery speech, Emancipation Proclamation. We need to be nice to who? Sir, I don't have time. And he in the comments talking about what did I do? Really? Really? You cannot be that mentally delayed, sir. That was nonsense. That was absolute and total nonsense for you to get up here and say that $2 speech and never address the prompt, but then you was calling everybody bitter on the panel when you were in the comment section. You had a lot to say in the comments. See, that's the problem. You guys needed to, like I was telling Waxman, you need to develop some range. You guys need to develop some versatility. I get in the comments, I troll everybody's live. I'm a #1 troll. That's what I do. But when I get on panel, I can still hold my own. Don't pop so hard in the comments, but then when it's time to pop in real life and say something, you have nothing in your brain. And you showed that today, John. I am very disappointed in you. I'm done with you.
All right, KPG. All right, I'm gonna go down here to Miss Chrissy Baby. Go ahead, Miss Chrissy Baby.
I don't even know what the topic is anymore.
Right.
I also, I didn't want to be that person on the panel, but I'm about to be that person on the panel. What is the reference to #1 as far as the bed part?
Oh no, it's okay. I had saw like a whole bunch of TikToks, right, where these guys were taking girls to a hotel and they were decorating the bed with rose petals and candles and all of this stuff, and then they were saying like, "Will you be my girlfriend?" So they were making this big, to do about asking girls to be their girlfriend, and I thought it was disgusting because I was like, What if she say no? Why is it in a hotel? Why is it on the bed? Like, what do you expect to happen after she say be your girlfriend? Give her the you expect her to give you the draws, respectfully. And my thing is this is that you being so performative with making ask me to be your girlfriend, that don't mean nothing. You could ask me to be your girlfriend that day, get me to have intercourse with you, and then dump me tomorrow. Like that don't mean nothing. The only
That's
thing you be out of is some rose petals and a hotel stay.
Yeah, that's a thing of our generation for the Gen Zs. So maybe some of you guys didn't realize, but people like guys are now like dating girls or talking to them, dating whatever, and then instead of how people normally would do, they'll ask you on at dinner or something, or you guys meet up and get lunch or something. They say, oh, at the end when they get dessert, oh, I'll be your girlfriend. People in this generation are now taking girls to hotels, their rooms, and decorating the bed. It's very lustful. It's very degenerate. It's a lot, and like people are saying, oh, how else am I supposed to ask your girlfriend? You can go to a picnic. You can go get lunch or something in between class and say, hey, I want you to be my girlfriend. That's how people normally do things. To ask a girl to go to a hotel and say, oh, can you be my girlfriend? That's weird.
That's really dangerous too, because what if she says no and now she's in a hotel room at night with the guy that got
Yeah.
rejected, and they cuss us out when we say we don't want their number. So,
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Let me go down here to Waxman, then Carmel, then Nell and Chan. Go ahead, Waxman.
I've been sitting here the whole time, right? And it's not bothering me because it don't apply to me. But the whole thing is this, right? I hear all the women speaking about what the men don't do, right? So what I'm going to ask is the women that's like constantly talking about the men and what they're not doing, what they're not capable of. They don't have this, they don't have that. You mean to tell me none of y'all have flaws? I mean,
Okay,
y'all don't. Real quick, y'all don't have flaws. Y'all don't have insecurities about.
okay. See, I'm gonna stop you right there, Waxman. My thing is this, sir.
Very
You knew the deal before you came up here. You saw that it was nothing but women up here. This is a black woman space. I allow black women to speak, vent, whatever they want to do. I allow them to speak their perspectives because this is a black woman space. And frankly, the only people I care about are black women and black children. They are the ones that need to be centered. But I center black women on my page, black women and black girls. So why would we be talking about what black men need in a black woman space, or what black women are doing wrong to men in general, or whatever? Who the hell cares? If you want to be centered somewhere, go somewhere where there are men at. There are plenty of lives on TikTok where black men are talking about everything they don't like about black women, everything that they perceive black women doing wrong. They be like, oh, I hate those lashes. I hate those nails. I hate those hair weaves. I hate all of that. They never ever have anything really truly bad to say about black women other than superficial things, because there's not anything that black women are doing statistically to oppress or to hurt black men on any notable level. But that's what you can hear. So I don't understand that. I don't understand how black women can discuss what they're feeling, and then you can take that to mean, well, do black women feel like they don't have any flaws? I think every person on the earth that is a thinking person knows that they're not perfect and they have things that they need to fix about themselves or things that they can work on. But that's not what this is about. And I don't understand why there are not any spaces where black men can never just sit down, chill out, cool out, and listen and hear what black women have to say, but then wonder why the girls that y'all get with be so mad at y'all, be yelling and screaming or break up with y'all because y'all refuse to ever take a point to where y'all just listen. It don't gotta be about women this time. It's about black women all day, every day. Why do we have to make today a day where we talk about, oh, well, we gotta, anytime we center men, it's always a, well, what about the women's? What about the women's? What about what y'all do? We not talking about that. Because when
But
I
how
see
you
any
gonna
of y'all
find
black male
solution on
faces,
that?
y'all don't talk about what y'all be doing. Anytime it's some woman talk about she being assaulted or raped or something, y'all over there calling her a liar and saying y'all can't believe her and saying all of these other things. So why in the world do we have to give y'all grace when y'all come in our spaces when the same is not reciprocated? I don't understand why you have to be centered. And if you're in your feelings about it, I don't know why you came in here. Like, I really, really
I'm
don't. It
I'm
doesn't
not
make
in my
sense.
I'm not in my feelings. I just wanted to, say that.
But
And
don't
like I
nobody
say,
got to
I'm not.
explain to you what their flaws are. We don't got to explain to you what our flaws are. We don't got to explain to you what we doing wrong. At the end of the day, who wants to be with a man that called himself Wax Man and has sunglasses on in this profile pic? And he's clearly over the age of 40. No freaking body. So my thing is this, is that what exactly at the end of the day, what do you think we need to hear about our flaws? Black women ain't trying to prove nothing to you. Nobody trying to prove nothing to you. Nobody trying to say, oh, I'm gonna be a good man for Wax Man. That don't even sound right. That sound crazy. That sound ridiculous that you got on this internet in 2024 and called yourself Wax Man with double and triple and quadruple X's. That lets me know your mind is totally somewhere in Jupiter off the rip. So what type of intelligent women would we be if we was to sit here and try to break down our flaws and what we can do better to center your black ass today here on Saturday? Huh? Like really, I really need a lot of y'all to really take some like stock and go look in the mirror at yourself and really think like, wow, am I really the type of man that should be asking these questions of black women? Am I really the type of man that a black woman would even care enough to even unpack her flaws and to think about working on anything with me? And I think that is once again what I really hate about mammies and pick-me's is that y'all give a space for these type of men to feel like they can say anything at all. Cause they should do y'all, they grannies, they mamas, they sisters, they cousins is telling them, oh no, Wax Man, you got it, you got it, you got it. No, he don't got it. But anyway, let me just keep moving forward. That just really blew
He's
my
too
mind.
old to be talking like that
Way
too.
too old,
That's
man.
embarrassing.
It's super embarrassing. That just blew my mind. It was just
He's my
like, why
dad's
would you say
age.
that? Exactly. It's like, why would you say that? Like, don't nobody want to hear nothing that you're talking about? Like, what are we, because when people talk about like the black community, if people always talk about women being emotional and women being this and that, which is not even true, but statistically, who's causing the damage in the black community? Statistically, who's causing the damage to black families? Statistically, who is making everybody a single mother that they put their hands on? So whose flaws should we really be talking about? Like, honestly and truly. Like, I don't get it. Who's the least employed race of male in the United States? And who works the most out of all races of women? It's black women. So, like, what are we really talking about? Go
Me
talk that yin
too.
yang on your own platform. Like I just can't. Like it's just they always want to come in, they always want to play this devil's advocate role or play like they really trying to get clarity, but at the end of the day they always show their true colors. And no, he didn't run. I dropped him because I don't want to hear nothing else he had to say, because I'd be damned if I feel like any black woman is gonna sit there and explain what their flaws are to a Negro named Wax Man. Like, I refuse it. I rebuke it. You might as well call yourself
Yeah,
Candyman.
because why would we do that
I don't,
to a stranger
girl.
on the internet?
He might as well call himself Candyman. All right, because the real Candyman passed not too long ago. He might as well go on and get the bees and a little jacket, because that's what he was given from that profile picture. So it's just like, he feeling like I need to go in the bathroom and scratch on the mirror and say, that 3 times. Wax Man 3 times. Like, what? Anyway, let me stop. Caramel, Caramel, and then Nell and
Well, I don't know why you dropped him, because I was gonna just tell him I don't know what you say. I don't know what's up with his little mom, but if she heard me, she perfect. She's a flaw. She's a nice caramel drink of water. She is perfect from her head to her toe. She heard me is perfect. So I don't know what insecurities that he think that she was gonna have, because she heard me is perfect, all the way perfect. See, when you say that to those black men, they be like, they start losing it. Like, they really start, they really start having a meltdown, because they don't like when we are very conceited. And I know his rebuttal would have been, I need to humble myself. And I'm like, she will never be humble. She'll be grateful for what she has, but she will never be humbled. I would never humble myself, because I am flawless. It's me being flawless. But anyways, yeah, you be that egotistical around a black man. No, you got flaws, but have that grandeur of delusion like they do, and be like, she is flawless. Oh yeah, their whole man brain would just start. It would just go into convulsion. But yeah, I never heard of that like a man asking a woman to decorate a bed for me. Maybe I'm a millennial and I'm getting old, but who in the hell?
Yeah, it's a Gen Z thing.
What's wrong with y'all babies? What is wrong with y'all? Did we do wrong with y'all?
It's just really lustful.
Okay.
I blame the music.
Okay. I mean, did we do wrong with y'all? Because, Some of us are your parents. Did we do wrong? Just let us know. Did we do
I
wrong?
don't think so.
Okay. But the whole thing, black black men expecting us to be soft, where y'all don't like, a lot of black men don't have that form of masculinity or quote unquote sense of masculinity to for us to be soft. They think in their land of make believe, where where their king is a puppet, their only source of transportation is a trolley, that what they got between their legs is what should automatically make us be soft and submissive to them, which that don't mean anything. You haven't done anything tangible, emotionally, physically, monetarily, anything tangible for me to be soft. You cannot expect me to be soft where you sitting down playing on your PlayStation and I'm taking care of the kids, I'm working, I'm cleaning, I'm doing this. And the only thing you're bringing to the household is your gaming and taking the kids to the bus stop. But you expect me to be soft to you. No, I'm gonna treat you as a roommate. I'm gonna treat you as one of the kids. You're not gonna be soft because you're not doing anything tangible. You're not doing anything that the U.S. patriarchal system has put in for you to be a man. You're not putting that in and then expect me to be soft. Like that. That doesn't happen. You know, everything is reciprocal. So if you're not going to put things into perspective for me to be soft, then sir, I'm not going to be soft. Your little thing, the thing that's between your legs is not good enough. It's really not. And they only think with the things between their legs. I mean, it's the same thing like any other race. It's a head, a shaft, two basketballs. Sometimes it's circumcised, sometimes it's not. I mean, you see them one, you see them all. If they're light skinned, it's darker than the rest of their bodies. That's all thing I'm going to say about that. Okay, all right, Carmel. All right, let me go down here to Nell and Chan.
Thank you. Hey, y'all. I just want to great live to all the naysayers who don't know how to have conversations. This was one of the most introspective conversations that didn't lead to somebody being called an N word or a B word. So clap for us, because for all the people who obviously are not black or women or excuse me, BLK or women, etc., now y'all can actually see how we actually get down, those of us who have common sense and vibrate high. So I wanted to start with that. But I did want to address number 3 about expecting black women to be soft for black men when it's not respected. I definitely have to agree with that. And also say that for a lot of the men that are questioning us so heavily is because a lot of them only had mothers who they always had to ask something of, and she always responded to him as if he was her husband. So for a lot of us, we have the issue of dealing with men who really are women in masculine appearance. Because again, they were raised by women and that's all they know. And so this is how they're coming out. And just to address what I said earlier about the lack of resources, more so what I meant was, for women, a lot of our resources, because a lot of these coaches and things like that are trying to make money. So of course they market themselves a lot different to women than they do for men. Men do not have access to the same resources like life coaches and things in the same way, where they're comfortable and open to go and get those resources to heal. So many of them are operating very low. They're operating with no moral compass, no love for themselves. And that's what we're getting. So they can't respect us being soft because they don't know what that really is. And I feel bad for a lot of black men, to be 100% honest with you. I know you like, girl, don't come up here trying to feel bad for these people. I do, because like PG said, the majority of our men are not good men to be out here trying to procreate with, trying to marry, trying to uplift. They don't deserve it. And it starts because they didn't have it from the jump.
Nell, let me interject real quick. I will tell you this. I saw a creator. His name is Satan Center. He's very popular, red pillar on YouTube. He was holding a conference, like a therapy conference, a thing to help men become alphas and all this other BS, and it was several $1,000s. He had all of these men in a circle doing stupid stuff and all of this, and he has it like every year. I saw over half of them that were there in attendance were black men that spent a lot of money to be there. I also saw another conference with Fresh and Fit. They were having some type of paid conference for the men to come for a lot of money. At least a third to half of the men that were there were black. The other half were Hispanic and white tea, and a couple Asians spattered in there. There are men that have access to therapy, they have the means to do that, but they choose not to invest in their mental health, but they choose to invest in craziness, foolishness. And at some point, I cannot give them an excuse for not being proactive in doing things that they could do. If women can do it, they can do it too. They just choose not to do it in those certain type of ways, because just because you don't have access to it per se, because I don't know what you mean by access, because everybody has access and the ability to get a therapist and to do these things. They got plenty of ones. They got ones that they be advertising on the TV for $20 a session and all of these things. All they could do that if they chose to view it as important. But they don't view it as important. But you can let somebody like a Game Guy Goldie, I don't know if y'all know who that is. It's this short, shrimpy, petite man that has repackaged pimp philosophy and tells men that, this is how to manipulate women mentally to get them to be open to really just doing anything that you want, including them selling their bodies for you or whatever the case may be. That man has classes that are $300, $400, $500, and there are men, many black men that put their last dime and dollar into learning or feeling like they're going to be taught how to exploit women in general. So I just cannot give any man any type of grace or say, oh no, he just couldn't find it. Oh, he just didn't have access to it. Oh, it wasn't there for him. Because when they want to do something, they do it. When they want to be on the game or get the money to get a PS5 or an Xbox Series X or whatever, they make sure that they do it. They just don't view these things as important. And at what point do we say, hey, that's their fault if they don't find it as important? You know what I'm saying? Because women find it as important. The women try to do these things. So it's just like, nah, because I since I'm in the social media space, like really heavy, like there are a lot of black men that spend big time bread on very bad things when it comes to their mind. Like I say, all of these coaching classes, all of these retreats, all of these resorts where they be costing thousands of dollars, I go and take my time and look at the videos where they show who's there. And it'd be a lot of black men there. And some of them be young. They be like 18, 19, 20, 25. Then some of the ones, depending on what they're trying to cater to, it'd be men in their 30s, 40s, spending big bank bread. And most of the time, it's only rooted in how to get over on women or how to be an alpha male so that you can bed any female that you want to. They say things like that. Go ahead, Sage.
Can I make one point of something that you just said that is very important? A lot of these men, you're right, it's PIMP culture that they're trying to teach these guys. And I've listened to like audiobooks of Iceberg Slim, and I've done volunteer work with organizations that help women get out of that lifestyle where they're selling their bodies and they have PIMPs. And when I really listened to it, I'm like, yeah, this PIMP culture since the 1970s is basically what's being pushed on a lot of black men, and they're trying to orchestrate a lot of these tactics on us. And I think that's part of the reason, like you said earlier, where yes, they surround themselves with pick-me's, or they have a bunch of sisters or girls that they surround themselves with that overinflate their ego just for being a male and just for being black. And so they get out to the real world, and when they run across women who need more than just them being black and a male, they lose their minds, especially as they age and they don't have any money. But second, they have this PIMP ideology to where they think that a woman is supposed to behave and interact with them in a certain manner. And when that doesn't happen, I think a lot of them just step back into a delusion and into their egos, and they create a false reality. And that's why they continue to react the way that they do and interact with us the way that they do. But I feel like that's a huge problem, that in our community, the PIMP culture has been pushed to a whole generation of young black boys, and it's just got out of hand.
Okay, all right, I got you, Sage. Let me go down here to Nail, because I'm sure, would you like to rebut, Nail?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, because just going back to something you said to me earlier when I made a comment in the chat. So I grew up in Atlanta in the Atlanta University Center, which I don't know if many of you know what that is, but that's where Morehouse, Morris Brown College, Clark Atlanta University, and Spelman College all sit. And so, of course, you know that most historically black colleges, universities sit in the hood. So that lets you know I grew up in the hood. But to the point, I grew up seeing both the PIMPs, you know, the what's the man name that just got out of prison, the Big Meeches, as well as seeing the educated, like Martin Luther Kings, the Joseph Lowrys, the Andrew Youngs, etc. And so I'm saying this from both sides, simply because, to be fair, we're not just one way. So going back to Ogechi, like us having to differentiate from her, for her, the difference between her blackness and ours. I'm just simply saying that from a collective, because that's what we are talking to, speak generally about ourselves. From a collective, we know that there are far less BLK men who are educated, who are going to go out and get the resources, who are going to go out and do anything for themselves, than there are men who are educated, who actually rose from the ashes and made something of themselves. And so if we're going to have these types of conversations, we got to be real with ourselves in saying that a lot of our men don't have the resources. Because if we being real, right, like, yeah, you could go out there and find the person who can help you get your life on track for $500 or $3,000, and make a better decision than going and buying them Jordans and standing in line all day for it. Yes, but that's not our reality. So I'm only trying to speak from the reality of our people and saying that they need help. And that's it. Like, going back to what PG said, baby, if you're not qualified, Mr. Waxman, no disrespect having to keep using you, but you not for me. And just saying that to him and moving on, so that he have a certain level of awareness. A lot of y'all was saying there are pick-me's out there, which is completely true. Women who are just not letting these men know that they're terrible. But at the same time, again, just being true to the fact that we are all in this conversation, speaking generally, we have far more men who ain't got it than we do that do. So what are we going to do as women? Because Sage said a lot of men censor us in their lives to help them do everything. So what are we going to do to make them be better?
Okay, I'm gonna respond to that, Nail, but I'm gonna go to Miss Chrissy Baby first, because she wanted to speak. Go ahead, Miss Chrissy Baby.
Thank you. I think the biggest issue is, or my confusion in these conversations when it's in general or in society, the same neighborhoods. Of course, we're not a monolith, but if we're talking about the areas of where there's poverty, inner city violence, poor education, there's plenty of Black women also being raised with those same Black boys that grow up and be part of the most educated class in America. I think the biggest issue is the in this culture, I agree. There is the PIMP culture. It's the gang culture. I think even when children that are Black boys that's raised in good neighborhoods, and I said it in the comment, it's like a famous rapper that's in jail right now. That's went to the same school district as my neighborhood. Like he had a 2-parent household, but again, because men pander to men, this is masculinity as far as Black men. Like this is being a man is behaving in this way because statistically, this young man shouldn't have grown up to be like this. And I see it a lot in this neighborhood. Like you see if there is a small population of Black girls, they're studious, they're into sports, but it's like the boys want to be gangsters. You know what I mean? And LA is 50 miles away. So I think it's a cultural thing where men pander to men. They want to impress men. And our view of masculinity is this degenerate behavior. Just my opinion.
Okay, I just want to piggyback off what you guys both said. I definitely think that we have to understand that there are a lot of times when there are certain behaviors and certain behaviors and actions within certain people that there a lot of times is a cause for it. And I do believe that the culture that is curated and marketed specifically towards Black men that seems to resonate more with them as well is a reason why a lot of them cannot get it together. Like the whole Black culture with the gangster rap, drill rap, all of that, making it like the best version of masculinity is toxicity and also aggression and also violence. Also, that is weak, and not to respect women is weak. To show love to a woman is weak. To only be with one woman and be faithful and pour into her. All of these different things are marketed and pushed towards Black males more specifically and not Black girls. But I also think within that is that I feel like giving them grace and saying that these men don't have or young boys don't have access or opportunity to certain things, which is why they turn out a certain type of way, is also a coddling of Black men and is also a coddling which enables them to still stay in the state that they are in, which is why they haven't made any progressive or upward moves. But other, minorities and other demographics have managed to continue to increase their net worth, continue to increase, a lot of things that they do because they don't have the coddling of the women in their community to fall back on. Because a lot of times when it comes to a young Black girl, there is no grace. Nobody talks about if a young Black girl is a baby mama, she got 3 different baby daddies, or she been through this or she been through that, or people see her on the track selling her body, or if she's on drugs or anything like that. Nobody says, oh, we got to help those Black girls. We got to help those Black women because we don't know how she grew up. And we don't know that she was touched by her uncle when she was 3 and 4. And this is what led her down the road of drugs and this and that to cope. And then she got with some man that decided to take advantage of her. And this is the reason why she's here. This is the reason why she can't take care of her kids. And this is the reason why this and that. Nobody gives Black women or Black girls grace at all in any type of situation. The only time that grace is extended, and I'm not saying necessarily this is you, Nell, because I don't know, what you do. You may give grace to everybody, so I don't take it personally. I'm not saying you specifically, but I do think culturally, we tend to give a lot of grace towards the men in our community, a lot of it. And we don't give it to the girls. And Black women and Black girls are growing up in the same type of environments that these young Black men are. But for some reason, they're thriving. They decide, hey, I'm not going to be out here doing such and such. I'm going to go to school. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. At some point, we got to stop acting like it's not a lot of their own decisions, their own badness, their own wanting to go to their own lustful desires or whatever, or being affected by the Black culture, the toxic Black culture that is pushed to Black men, that a lot of it is their own fault. I just refuse to give grace to them for doing something that they should, at this point, know leads nowhere. You still got YNs out here doing all type of stuff when they didn't seen King Von, they didn't seen Pop Smoke, they didn't seen a million different dudes get their brains splattered for engaging in the same type of behavior. I just can't keep saying, oh, Black man, this, let me heal you, Black man. Let me show you. If a Black man wants to do right, he'll do right. And it's really just that simple. Like my first husband, horrible individual, abusive individual, wanted to be in the toxic Black male culture, no matter how much his mom tried to tell him, no matter how much I said, hey, you know what I'm saying? Because he lied about a lot of things that he was involved. I didn't know anything about half the things that he was doing. I tried to tell him, hey, you should do better. You should do this. He didn't listen. And now he is outside addicted to heroin and crack cocaine. That's where he is right now. Whole life completely ruined. destroyed. All because he did not want to listen. Couldn't nobody save him. His mama tried to save him. I tried to save him. His sisters tried to save him. Everybody tried to pour into that Negro, and he wasn't listening. He wasn't doing it. My current husband, who I've been married to for 15 years, I never had to tell him, hey, don't be out there in the street. He said, man, anybody out there in the street is a fool. They're a dummy. He went to school. He never been arrested. He never been in no trouble. There are always going to be black men that are going to do what they supposed to do, and it's going to be black men that don't do what they supposed to do. And in my opinion, they cannot be saved. You cannot, like they say about Captain Save-A-Hole, is Captain Save a Negro. He don't want to be saved. Don't save him. There's no way you can save them once they become infected with that type of culture. Because if black women can get it out the mud and do what they need to do, black men can do as well. But like I said, the coddling that black women do, in my opinion, is what really gets them in this false sense of delusion on what type of men they really are. That they don't have, that somebody reported this live, y'all. That's just ridiculous. But anyway, I just got 2 live restrictions. But anyway, all I'm saying is that a lot of times we allow them to live in this false delusion. Just 1 second. We allow them to live in this false delusion of the type of men that they are, because we always give them excuses for it. Because I know when I was married to my first husband, he would say things and he would hold his body in a way that he just thought he was all that in a bag of chips. And I would just think to myself, like, mentally, why does he really feel like he is doing something? He is not doing anything at all. He's not contributing anything. He's a horrible person. He's an abuser. He's this and that. But you think because you tall and you got a 6-pack that you somebody. Like you, and you not. You know what I'm saying? And I remember, like, before I ended up leaving him, he would say to me, oh, if I'm treating you that bad, why you still here? Why you still here? Why you around? Must not be that bad. And I remember when I left him and he was trying to get me to come back, I said, well, you told me that if you wasn't treating me that bad, I'd still be around. I'm not around. So what you think now? He just looked stuck on stupid. And I like I said, I really do believe that, and he was able to move that way due to the coddling of me, due to the coddling of his family members, because he was the only male in his family, with the exception of his father, who ended up passing away. All the rest of them women. You know what I'm saying? And anyway, I don't want to ramble too much, but I'm just saying I think a lot of it has got to be us in stopping to do that and letting them figure it out on their own. Because if you expect a black girl to figure it out on her own, then there should be no reason why you don't feel like a black man should, or a black boy should. You know what I mean? Or a young black male is what I'm trying to say. But go ahead, Sage. Go ahead. Hopefully I didn't rant too much, y'all. Sorry about that.
So what I wanted, oh no, you're good. So what I wanted to say is that, sadly, a lot of us black women in the black community, we create an environment to where black men can focus on not being productive and nonsense. We raise our girls, as it's been said, but the boys get coddled. So for most of us black women, if we want to eat and have a place to stay, a lot of times we have got to get out here and work. We don't have that support. But there's a lot of black men that I know right now in their 30s to where they have a black woman that they can fall back on. Multiple black women that they can fall back on and eat and have a place to stay for free. And they've been like that since their teenage years. And this is the problem. Black women have got to stop doing that, because the reason why you see a lot of these guys running around chilling on the block in the street and just being unproductive is because of the coddling and the support that we give them, because we're creating a space and an environment for them to be able to not have to worry about anything like this. Normal functional adults, they're worried about working, making money to pay bills. Because if I don't work, I don't have a roof over my head. If I don't work, I don't have food in my belly. And yes, it's 2 things, right? We're both raised in the same homes, and yes, it's a choice, but the problem is us coddling of the boys, and also on top of the coddling of the boys, they're making a conscious choice because they want to be in community with other black men, and they think that, oh, if I want to be in community with other black men, I got to be in the streets, I got to be in a gang. And I think they have a longing and a desire, but it doesn't, like you said, it doesn't lead to anything except them being old strung out on illegal substances, no family, by themselves, online complaining at 50 and 60 about women and hair weaves and eyelashes. But I really think all of this would just stop. And I think it is slowly coming to a stop because of inflation and the cost of living and black women excelling the way that we're excelling, that we don't want to deal with a man unless he has his stuff together. And a lot of black men, unfortunately, don't have their stuff together. But I just feel like we have got to stop creating a space for black men, grown men, to not have to work and to be able to relax and chill, because it's not supposed to be like that. Bare minimum adulting. You must work and provide for yourself. That's bare minimum adulting, regardless of your gender. And a lot of them don't do it.
Okay. All right, Sage. All right. So I'm gonna go down here and because I'm gonna go ahead and end the live, you guys. But I just want to let everybody get their final thoughts in. So I'm gonna go down here to PG 1908, and then Miss Chrissy, baby. Go ahead, PG.
Okay. I'm going to wrap up my final comment. And thank you guys so much. This was a great conversation. Here's the problem, and I just want to add a little context because it seems like BLK males never have it. This is why you should stay out of white people's society when you are not a YT person. When you're not a YT person, stay out their stuff. BLK males love trying to mimic YT males, and they always seem to mess it up. Soft culture, soft lady mindset comes from the culture of ladies and gentlemen. When they were basically saying, the lady drop her handkerchief, the man puts his jacket over a puddle, let her walk. Soft culture. Why did that culture come about in YT communities? It's because a long time ago, they had to differentiate themselves between poor people and people of class and people of upper class. And they wanted to decide who was going to marry. They basically created the whole idea of courtship and soft culture so that they could know what type of ladies to marry. You had to be gentle. You had to be soft. That means that you were better pickings for a wife. Here's the problem, because BLK males don't read, they don't value education, they don't value context, they don't value history. They want to take ladies' culture, but they don't want to be gentlemen. They want you to drop your handkerchief, but they want you to also come in a hotel room and Netflix and chill and bust it wide open, and he has no intentions on marrying you. Whereas the YT male created ladies and gentlemen culture because they created it specifically for marriage. BLK males, this is why we are so enraged. And some of us, if we're a little younger, I'm 36, but if you're a little younger, you're a little confused as to why you're doing all the things, making the plates, and he's still not marrying you. It's because BLK males have no intention on putting you in that environment to marry you. He's basically saying, I'm a predator. I want you to be easy and pliable for me to get what I want from you, which is access to your body and whatever chores you're going to perform. So y'all need to be careful with that. And then on my final point, Nell was just basic. When she was up here, she was saying that, men who ain't got it want us to treat them like they do. See, here's the thing. A lot of BLK males want to sit back and say, oh, well, y'all always passing over good dudes. Good in whose eyes? Because just because that dude is driving a Mercedes does not make him a good male. Just because that dude has a six-figure job does not mean he deserves children and he's going to get a 40-year marriage. Again, BLK males don't date each other. They probably should, since they think that they're the prize. And if they're the prize, why aren't they dating each other? But I digress on that. My point, and I'm going to land with this. If you guys think that you're the prize just because you drive a Mercedes, this is why you're not getting the longevity that you think you're supposed to have. Well, again, this goes back to the same point that I've ever said since I've been on live on TikTok. You have to be better people. And they have no desire, no drive to be better people. They want to access women's bodies, and some of them who can get a Mercedes, because a lot of them don't get a six-figure salary, but those that do get those salaries, they think that they're entitled to female bodies and female chores, female labor. And that's why they're not being stayed with. And I land. Y'all have a good one.
All right, PG. Thank you, Sage, and thank you, PG. I appreciate y'all for giving me y'all perspective. I always love to hear from both of you ladies. Y'all are very intelligent black women. All right, let me go down here to Miss Chrissy, baby, and then Carmel. Go ahead, Miss Chrissy, baby.
I just wanted to say I'm so proud of black women. It seems when I go on TikTok or any app, you can just tell the difference in education, how we speak. I think that we are in a paradigm shift, and Black women are now, standing up for themselves and being more selective. And I even see younger women, starting to decenter men and value themselves more. Maybe that's what the uproar is. It's getting harder for men to date because women are kind of putting their bottom line down. But it's just really, I'm proud to see it. Of course, when I see the pick-me's, it's disappointing, but I see a lot more women on the same page, and that's a really beautiful thing. That's all. Thanks for having me up.
No problem. I definitely agree with you, and I appreciate you, Miss Chrissy, baby. It's always good to see you too and hear you speak. You have a nice voice, and I always appreciate hearing your perspective and stuff too. And it's always intelligent, good takes from you as well, Miss Chrissy, baby. All right. Let me go to Caramel Mermaid and then Unwritten Love. Go ahead, Caramel Mermaid. Hey, sis.
Hey sis, I'm gonna say this. Speaking about coddling and things like that, I remember when I very, very, very first moved out, how my mom, mind you, I grew up in a mommune community, so it was just my mom, my aunt, and my grandmother. Long story short, so when I very first moved out, my uncle, he was like, hey, hey, Monica, hey, girl, I'm gonna get you, a microwave. I have this TV at my job, because this job they do displays and stuff like that. I have a TV at my job. Do you want it? I said, yeah, I'll take it. And then my mom was like, I'm gonna buy you an entertainment set. My aunt was like, I'm gonna buy you a dining room set. So when we get around, so my brother was hearing this, that when I moved out, I got I got furniture set from my uncle, a TV from my uncle, a microwave from my uncle, a dining room set from my aunt, and an entertainment set from my mom. So my brother, he felt some type of way, like, why y'all giving all of this? I moved out, y'all didn't give me nothing, just some, just the little, just the little kitchen, kitchen stuff, small appliances, plates, cups, things like that. But why she get all that? My mom was like this, I'm not gonna coddle you. You a man. You should go out here on your own. You should do this. Monica is a woman. She's out here on her own. She's a woman. So yes, I'm going to help my daughter. I am going to help her. But you a man. You should already get this. You should already get this on your own. And it was like no matter what, like even now he's 40, I'm 36. No matter what, it's like my brother wants that coddling from my mom. And my mom is like, I'm not going to coddle you. You are a man. You are a living, breathing, healthy, functional man. You need to get out here. You need to do what you need to do and what you have to do as a man. You are a man. See, Monica's a woman. Society moves different from us. Society moves different when it comes to us, when it comes to women, and especially us being Black women. Yes, society moves very different, but you are a man. Not only you a man, you a Black man. You need to pull up on your own bootstraps. You need to stop supporting us Black women for us to be your safety net. Like she was like, yes, I am your mother. I am your safety net. But don't expect your sister to be your safety net. Don't expect your aunt to be your safety net. Don't expect any other Black woman. Hell, sometimes she said, sometimes myself. Do not expect any Black woman or any woman to be your safety net. You get out here and you do it on your own. You are a man. And it's very hard that a lot of us Black women, we don't teach our sons that. Like, even though we can go, mama, I want, mama, I won't. My mom will give, of course, she's a mom. But if I really say what I want, she is not reluctant to give it to me because she knows the difference between me and my brother is I would have to exhaust all the possibilities known to mankind before I ask my mom. Like, she would know. I would go to a payday loan company before I ask her any money. And she knows that if I had to ask her, she knows my daughter exhausted all her possibilities.
All right. I got you.
Yeah,
Caramel
so that's all
Mermaid.
I gotta say.
Okay, and you know I love to hear from you as well. You always be on my panels. I always love to hear what you got to say. You always cracking me up, and I appreciate that you got on the panel today. And I heard from you again, sis. And I hope that I get to hear from you again. All right, so let me go down here to Unwritten Love. Go ahead. I think that you had said something in the comments too. So go ahead and let me know what your perspective is.
Yeah, no, I just came up. I just wanted to make one point. I think the conversation around coddling is this another way to blame women for males' behavior or their outcome. And I think I guess as Black women, we've come a long way with understanding and I'd say like deprogramming from male ideology. But this coddling one, we seem to be holding on to a little bit longer, but we honestly need to let it go. If you look at other communities and look at other cultures, right, like coddling or our understanding of coddling is somewhat normal amongst mothers and their sons. You can look at like Italians. My ex was Italian. And so like that concept of mothers kind of doting on their sons is pretty universal, but they don't turn out the same. And it's primarily because of the male culture itself. So regardless if Black mothers coddle or don't coddle their sons, the outcome is going to be the same because they're going to be indoctrinated into Black male culture either way. And that's going to determine or have a much greater impact on their lives. But we need to kind of give up this, I guess, this notion that the mothers are doing something wrong. I don't necessarily see it that way. I think if they are what we understand is coddling their sons to be, we're not going to see a major difference because the men are not getting their perspectives, their habits, their outlook on life from their mothers, regardless if the mothers are calling them. They're getting it from other males. So as long as the Black male culture exists and continues to indoctrinate the boys, they're going to have the same outcome. And we need to stop trying to hold women accountable for men's decisions, including your sons, because we clearly see our community of women.
Let me give you a little pushback on that Unwritten Love, and then I want to interrupt you here. That way you can respond to me. And before we, that way you can have a response to me. I just wanted to say that I actually do understand your perspective and what you're saying because you feel like it's blaming the women for the actions of the sons.
It is.
And at the end of the day, the men still have their own, free will and their own decision-making skills to choose what type of lifestyle they get involved with. And I do get that perspective. I do see see your point. But I do feel like I have definitely come across Black women that have coddled their sons in very unhealthy manners that now I'm not going to say that I'm super duper into other cultures to where I know their interpersonal deep relationships in their family, like being around like an Italian person deeply to where I've seen all sides of them. And I can say, oh yeah, they do it exactly the way that Black people do it. I don't know. I can't say. So I'm not going to pretend and say that I speak on that. But I will say that I've seen Black women actively make excuses for their sons' wrongdoing, make excuses for touching on kids, make excuses for actually unaliving people, help them hide situations from knowing that they unalive people, encourage a lot of bad behavior, all in the name of protecting Black males. And I do think that Black male worship,
universal.
but I do think that Black male worship is something that is somewhat unique to Black people. The way that Black women have been programmed and indoctrinated to worship the men in the community. I'm not saying that women in general.
Ma'am, that's patriarchy. That is literally just the concept of patriarchy. That's it. It is every woman is affected by this.
Let me finish. I do think that there's something unique in the way that there are certain Black women that make excuses for Black men. And I do think there is a problem in our culture that we need to address because we do oftentimes be extremely hard on the women and the girls in our community. And we do give Black men and Black boys a grace that we do not extend to Black girls and Black women. So I do feel like there is a problem there, and that's something that should be addressed strictly with women because there are so many young Black girls, young Black women, even older Black women that talk about their experiences and how they were treated totally different than men in their community, that they were treated like very harshly, and the sons were. And even if we were to say, if I would even to look at your perspective and say, hey, well, no, that's a problem. We have a lot of problems with white women treating their daughters horribly and uplifting their sons and doing those things. I don't really care about white people. I really don't care about Asian people. I really don't care about Italians. I don't care about none of them. All I care about is black people, and I care about what's going on with my community specifically. So in my opinion, the coddling that black women do specifically, regardless on if other people do it, that's something that needs to be spoken about. And at some point, and that's the reason why when people are in substance abuse programs, they talk about, hey, you need to get away from your enabler. You need to get away from people that allow you to do these things. Because at the point, yes, they know that that person that's abusing substances, yes, it's their choice, and yes, they're doing it. But they also know that other people in their lives can enable them and encourage them to be involved in that type of behavior. And that's exactly what's happening in this culture of black male worship and coddling that we have in the community. So I do think that allowing women to escape completely from any type of responsibility or any type of accountability and in this is also a problem, because these same men that make these bad decisions, a lot of times they make bad decisions because they know they have somewhere to go to. They know they got a big mama to go to. They know they got a mama to go to. They know they got a sister's house they can stay at. They know that they have women in their lives that enable them and coddle them to do these things. So I can't say that it's not a problem and that women don't share in it somewhat. If you have that, if you are that type of person, because there are some black women that don't play like that. There are some black women that don't coddle their sons. There are some black women that say, hey, look, you do this, that, and the third, you on your own, you know? So I'm just saying that women do share some responsibility in this. So I'm not going to just let women escape and say, oh, it's just the men, because it's not.
Yep, I disagree completely. That everything you're naming is a concept of patriarchy. You're not going to find patriarchy on this planet that is literally not the same exact
thing. Then we disagree. Right? Then we can disagree to disagree.
That's fine.
I'd wholeheartedly disagree with your stance too. So, but we can disagree. We're not always going to agree on everything.
Yeah, I want to be able to respond to it though. I guess
I'm trying to end the live unwritten.
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
I'm trying to end the live. You see, nobody else is here. I'm trying to go. I've been on here for over 2 hours. And I feel like if we have this discussion, that's going to be us going back and forth, which I actually love. I actually love us being able to have because, you know, sometimes when you have a panel and everybody agrees.
I totally get it.
Yeah, that's not the move, but people like to see people that are in direct opposition. But if you want me to, the next live that I do, I can do a live maybe tomorrow around this time.
Oh, okay.
And we can discuss this if you want me to make this a topic.
Yeah, I think it would be interesting. I honestly do think it would be interesting because I feel like this is something that it's almost like a last arc in my opinion, because we've done so much work as women over the years, especially in these online spaces. And I think this is one where I think we can move the needle a little bit because my whole point is like the outcome doesn't change, right? Like you can clearly see the homeless population is primarily male. So so even if, you know, Big Mama will invite them to the house, understand that their behaviors is going to lend them and utilize any resource that they have. And it doesn't matter who's along that line. So maybe they go to Mama first and Mama say, oh, nope. Then maybe they go to the sister next and the sister say, okay, I kick you out. Either way, they're going to end up in the same place, which is probably on the streets, because their behavior, it doesn't matter who's helping them if this is what their habits are. So you can say, oh, well, the women shouldn't be letting them to the house. Okay, the women won't let them to the house. And guess what? They're just going to be on the streets. That's it. It's not as if they're going to be like, oh, well, my sisters aren't letting me stay, so let me get my life together. Let me pull everything together. Let me now be responsible. That doesn't happen. They just end up homeless. That's literally it.
I get what you're saying.
The whole concept, it doesn't. I'm sorry, I don't want to hold up your panel. I think it'll be a good conversation.
Block this first and hold on just a second. I had to block somebody.
Okay.
I definitely get what you're saying, and I'm not saying that the end result won't be the same. All I'm saying is that I would like for women to unpack what they're doing, unpack their assistance in the bad behavior of men. I would like them to check their enabling of men that's helping them to make bad decisions. I'm not saying,
and I agree with that, right? It's like get out the way, and that's what we want.
Because I'm not saying that. Like now, this is what I'm not saying. I'm not saying that women are equally to blame or these mothers are equally to blame, but I do think that they share a part in it. And so I think that's where we disagree. But everything else, I think we pretty much agree on. But yeah, I do think that women have a part to play in it. And I just feel like for me personally, I just would never escape. I would never let women escape with coddling, because I have seen full hand with my own eyes the damage that a mother, damage that a sister, the damage that Black women can do in enabling and helping a Black man in bad behavior. I've seen it, and it's not good. It's not. And I've seen it with my own eyes, and it's a terrible thing to witness. And I could never say, oh, it's just his fault. It's not. They don't have anything to do with it, because it's not true. There are so many women that have been unalived, had the brakes beat off of them, been essayed and assaulted with the assistance of enabling by mothers and sisters, and the coddling that they have done. I've seen real life harm be enacted because of that. So I just can't let women get off. Well, it's get scot free is basically what I'm trying to say with that. But anyway, if you want me to do this live and we can go back and forth about this, I have no problem about it. If you want to, just DM me and tell me a time that works for you.
Okay, cool.
Like whenever you want to do it, we can do it. And I love your energy. I think that you sound like a very intelligent sister. So I don't have no problem with us having a disagreement on this. And I still think that it will still be good for you to have your perspective out there too. So
yeah, and it'd be interesting to hear other people's perspective when we're specifically talking about it. But yeah, so okay. I don't want to hold you up too longer. Appreciate you letting me up.
No problem. Just make sure to please don't forget to send me a DM
I got you.
Okay. All right, I'll see you guys later, because I'm gonna go ahead and give me something to eat, y'all. I'm hungry. But I'll say this, if you're a Black woman and you're listening to this, I just want you to know that you're amazing, you're awesome, you're special, you're valuable. And I just want this space to always be for Black women to speak how they feel authentically. And no, we don't always gotta agree. And no, we won't always agree. We'll have different perspective on everything. And that's fine. You know what I'm saying? So I just want y'all to know I really appreciate y'all. And hopefully, we can have this conversation again. And hopefully you guys have a great weekend. All right. I'll see y'all later. All right. Bye.